Hello, hello. Hello, hello. There we go. Not again. Goes Christian. Whoop, whoop. Got another whoop, whoop message here. Just a whoop, whoop. Okie dokie. Oh, Kiko, I'm muted.
Hello, hello, go Packers.
How did the great phone search go?
Hey, it was never on the bus.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, they stopped at we went back to the bus stop. The bus made its next round. The same
Hmm.
woman was driving the same bus.
Yeah.
She led her on to look on the floor. It wasn't there. And I said, "Where else?" And she said, "They stopped at a shoe store." And that's where it was.
Did he?
It it had fallen out of her pocket while she was trying shoes on, and someone was honest enough to turn it into the counter.
That's good.
So
Lesson learned, huh?
your YouTube's
Hopefully.
on, so I got an echo.
Well, your YouTube, mine should be. No, mine's muted.
Okay, it was me.
Well, hopefully, that lesson learned there for the kid, huh?
Yeah, yeah, told her. If you value
Well,
things, you need to protect them.
you know what? Sometimes I went into this store. Was near a bus stop where I relieved the next driver, and I always went in there and got something before I got on the bus. And I went through the whole night. Toward the end of the night, man, I reach my pocket. I don't feel my keys, and I'm freaking out, man. I got everything on there, um, car and all that shit. I had to take a cab home. So the next day, I looked at the hours of the store and I called up, and the guy had them. And, he was getting married. I was going to give him something. And he told me, I think he was Indian. Hey, Jerry, he told me, it makes my heart feel good that I did something nice for you, for someone, you know. And I thought, boy, that was a big, big freaking time. You saved me a lot of money and hassle.
Hello, Christian.
Jerry.
Jerry?
Yep, Jerry's. You know Jerry. You met Jerry, right? He's the Chicago Ukrainian there, brother
Yeah.
Jerry. You know.
So,
So,
you feeling good about
so
your Packers?
what's that?
You feeling good about your Packers?
Ah, shit. Well, they,
They
they
beat
keep
the
getting injuries, boy.
they beat the Steelers.
Well, anybody can do that.
Yeah,
I
that's
I, I
good.
think I wouldn't fire Mike Tomlin. I think that guy's a real cool coach. Like just it's just they need to get some uh, more quality players before they lose the ones they got. I don't think what's his name is going to come back next year. Big Ben, it's
Well, we didn't think that this year either, but
well, the other guy didn't do too bad. I didn't watch the game that they lost at home. What they played the Browns? Was that the Browns?
yeah.
Oh, David. I don't know if you know the guy. I don't remember his channel name. David American Filipina Adventure. Him and his wife, he got a channel down. He's from Arkansas. Him and his wife got to Cebu yesterday.
Great. Is there any
So,
different news on the Philippines yet, or?
well, that you know what, we were talking about that last night because when this Philip Rizzuto guy, he went over there, and while he was there, it went down from 10. For vaccinated, it went down from 10 to 5 days while he was there. So anything you say about anything like over there is that's how it stands today. Subject to change
Right.
because you just have to learn whenever you're dealing with what's going on, particularly from over there. You have to take it with a grain of salt because it changes by the moment, and anything you say, you have to always put that disclaimer in there because you'll have somebody following it blindly, and then the next day it's totally different. And he explained to me, I thought you had to have. They don't want you printing out that health pass too soon. All it is the personal information for the government to contact you or where you're staying. And it's the airlines that require that test 72 hours prior to the day you take off. So that would make it Thursday for me. But I asked that question when I was taking a rapid test out of curiosity. I went to Walgreens, and the lady told me it'd be better if I had that done on Tuesday because um, she told me that the pharmacist said that sometimes it takes more time than usual. So
Did that cost you something?
I don't know, man. I took the rapid. I think that was either a freebie or they put it on my health insurance. I don't know. But I guess the one in the Philippines now, according to David, you don't get charged for. And that Philip Rizzuto, he got charged for his. So this stuff is.
It
It's
depends where you go. It's all
it,
hit and
it.
miss.
I told him, and I told other people. I said the 9A visa form. I come to this conclusion because David was supposed to use Wisconsin. He used Houston, Texas, and they have a different form. Los Angeles has a different form. New York does. The one I have from Chicago makes the most sense because instead of having two pages, they have one page, and they tell you in this maybe 12 questions what the requirements are. So you check off that box. Before in an older one, like David had, they had a whole full page, on the back side of that. So anybody out there that fills out a 9A visa form, don't get freaked out by all the different ways it's laid out. They're all good. I found that out from wigging out myself. So uh,
Yeah. I went to get blood work done today. I had to wait like 45 minutes.
oh, did you? Why
Place
is
was
that?
pretty full. I don't know. The waiting room was full,
It's
but
Friday.
but it was quick. I mean, it only takes 2 minutes. And the girl
Yeah.
that did it, I mean, I didn't even feel a pinch. It was really good.
I don't know where they. Oh my God! I went to one once. They bruised the shit out of my arm. I quit going there when I was volunteering. Positive blood. And they go, "Why haven't you come back?" Well, my arm's black and blue and yellow.
I only had that happen one time. I used to donate blood all the time,
This,
and never was black and blue until one time.
if this lady were a nurse, she certainly got her license yanked. I'm telling you. She made me. Oh my God, it hurt so bad. Jerry is uh, Jerry.
Yeah,
Christian.
yeah, 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 yeah,
Hey, that sounds like somebody I know.
yeah.
But anyway,
That's the Norwegian spelling of Jerry.
uh,
It's Yachty.
because
Yachty.
the Philippines is sort of notoriously late in a lot of things. I sent in for my visa on a Thursday and got it on Monday, and they don't work the weekends. So I could have waited to get that, but
So you
if
got
you-
it in hand now?
I got it. Yeah, I got the stamp. They stamped it from November 24th to February something.
They
59
stamp,
days.
they stamp right on your passport? Is that what they
Yeah,
do?
yeah.
So you
Yep.
had to send your passport to them, huh?
Right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I didn't feel comfortable with that,
Yeah, I wouldn't either, but hey.
but if not, then you got to go down there, I guess. And it is
Right.
like a welfare office when you got all these people.
Right. Saves a
You got
trip.
to take a number.
Saves a lot of waiting.
Well, me and my wife, the first time we went in there, she walked right up to the counter, and I sat down. I'm looking around, and I went, and they had a little light scroll LED thing, and I said, "Hey, I don't think we were supposed to go," because all these people were looking. All of a sudden, they started talking. I said, "Uh oh."
Yeah,
And
someone cut in line, huh?
yeah, well, she didn't know. I mean, I didn't. Well, she was the one that had business there. I wasn't. So I kind of, didn't pay a whole hell of a lot of attention to what was going on because it didn't pertain to me.
So you're
I
all
think that
set. You're ready to
I
go. You
think
got the plane ticket, passport stamped.
yeah, I
All you
got
need is a ride to the airport now.
yep. And my
Pack up them
son thought
Balatyon boxes.
I just dropped off a couple yesterday, and I got another one. I'm going to put all the kitchen pots and pans and dishes. When next time I go shop, I'll keep one bowl and one spoon and one fork. Yeah. And my son, I said, yeah. I told my son, I said, hey, I'm going to need a ride to the airport. He goes, oh, I got to work. I said, no, it's on Sunday. Now you can't get out of it. You got to do it.
Yeah. Plus, you're going to use your own car, right?
Well, no. Use his
Oh,
car.
okay.
I sold the one he's got. He got a deal on that sucker. Now he got it with 19,000 miles for $4,000. A Honda Civic,
What?
2011.
What?
Yeah.
Where'd you get that from? It wasn't a salvage title?
No, I bought that car brand new.
Oh, you sold it to him.
Yeah.
Okay, 11?
It was a 2011 Honda Civic.
With
And
19,000 miles.
I had it for, man, I think I subsidized the car payment for him, because my payment was $335, so I let him pay $200 a month for a year.
Man,
That's less than.
we had our next door neighbor. She had I think it was a 13 or 14 Civic.
Mhm.
And before she died, she had to give it back to the leasing. She was leasing it, but she got to the point where she couldn't drive. And for 13 grand, I could have bought it from her.
Yep.
It had 3,000 miles on it. It was
I told you,
3 years old. And I should have done it, but I just didn't have the money at the time.
Honda Civic is probably the best little car out there.
Oh, yeah.
Only now GM's got a stake in their company, so I don't know if they're going to allow that to F it up on that one. But
I didn't hear
that car,
that.
because the car is low and wide, it's excellent traction in the snow. If you have a higher profile, your
I
the
like
wind's
the
going to
older.
move you around.
I like the older Civics, but the new one looks good. The 22. I saw
Yeah.
pictures of that.
Well, the new one, I like the ones that. See, one thing about Honda is most car makers change their design after 3 or 4 years. Honda ran with that same body from 2008, something like that, up until this past year. Hey, but that's better than a Corolla. I gave it to my son. He works in Menominee Falls. That's quite. It's about he goes about 20 miles each way a day, maybe 15, 20. So he puts the miles on it. He had to buy a new air conditioning compressor. So I had given him. I gave him 1,000. I gave him 1,300 for that, and I gave him another another 1,000. So he had money, he could afford to fix it. It sounded like, because it's on the same belt, that thing sounded like that engine was just going to fall out of it. You can't keep going down the road if that thing's making a whole lot of noise, because you're going to affect something else. But I gave him some money to put down there, and I said, he said, well, how much of this is mine? I said, 2,000. I said, don't get your eyes all bigger than saucers there, because my mother gave me my dad's insurance money from when he passed, and I put it in my son's bank account. Oh, Gear's here. What do you know, man?
Hey, Gear.
Yeah. You remember that guy, don't you, Kiko?
Barely.
Yeah, barely. Oh, God. I didn't know whether he wore glasses or not. That's how long it's been. Yeah, it's cold here, so I'm all ready to go. I got all that. I had the plane ticket before I had the other thing. So that what I thought was the Philippines wanting you to have that negative PCR test, it was actually the airlines, and I had forgotten about that. So if I do it on a Tuesday, I get it. You're supposed to be 72 hours prior, but I don't think any labs work on Saturday. I don't really know for a fact, but if I'm going to just guess, the lady told me to play it safe and get it a little earlier. There he is, the man, the myth, the legend.
Hey, Tony. Hey, Kiko.
How's the uncircumcised Norseman doing?
Hey, Christian.
Hello, guys.
Kiko, did you hear him?
Just fucking running back and forth to these bloody hospitals and shit, trying to figure out what this bollocks is.
So, did they change medicine on you?
No, I mean, I went to one place first. They didn't give me any. It was just bullshit. So I called into the proper nose, ear, and NET department at Edinburgh's, which is supposed to be one of the best in Europe, on last Saturday. And I actually saw a consultant, a proper fucking dude. And I spent about 3 hours there. They did a lot of tests and everything. We did a hearing test as well. And because of the tinnitus, the hearing on the left ear was weaker on high frequencies than on my right ear, whatever. But he went through tons of physiological tests and everything. And, we have to start with all possible causes and do the elimination method. So he eliminated out many years and BVP. He didn't think it actually was vertigo because it doesn't spin, when you spin around, the room doesn't spin around with my stuff. It's like an inner feeling. So the next step is that they're going to do an MRI scan, which could take 6 to 8 weeks. But luckily, I can't believe it. They have like a mobile MRI scanner at one other hospital just up the road from me. So I actually got an appointment already on Monday evening on the 6th of December. So in a couple of weeks' time.
You get dizzy?
Oh, sorry?
Do you get dizzy?
Yeah, it's like my whole body is moving. So anyway, so he thinks this might be, well, I mean, the MRI scan will show up a lot. He doesn't think it has anything to do with any of the hearing stuff.
Equilibrium.
and they're gonna do another. They have a balance test center as well, where they do a lot of technical analysis, a lot of shit I'm gonna have to go through. I'm
Yeah.
waiting for that appointment, but he leads to think, just without taking any diagnosis at the moment, that it could be a virus on my balance nerve or whatever that could cause it, because it's more like a balance thing. Because if I close my eyes, and he did one of those DUI tests like Americans are doing on me, hands down, walk in a straight line, blah blah, stand up, follow the fingertip, close my eyes, and whatever. And the strange thing is that if I close my eyes and put my hands down, because it's all inside, when I close my eyes, I'm sort of wobbly, like I'm fucking drunk. You know what I mean? And
I
so he lead to think that it's something more something with the balance nerve. But he said, don't be, 99.99% of the chances is that if there is a tumor or something like that, is benign anyway. So we'll see. But I'm still in a limbo. So if they can't find anything out after all this shit, then they have to refer me to the neurological department. So we'll see after this MRI test.
So how many did you have the 5.5 hour MRI test?
No, I'm having on the 6th of December.
Yeah, that's a bitch for me because I have a bad back, and it was oh man.
No, the MRI. I'm having an MRI of an MRI internal auditory meters, and that only takes about 20 minutes.
Oh.
But it's in that like little fucking tunnel bullshit. So I asked them to give me some sedatives I could take, some Percocet or something before I do it, because I get a bit claustrophobic, because I'm not as slim as Christian, so I get very tight in that fucking tunnel,
Oh yeah, I had a test before and after my surgery. I had to remove that cyst I had. So what it is I try to walk that line. I can't walk it straight for nothing. I'm all over the place. My balance is terrible, and that's when he said to me, he said, there's nothing else I can do for you. I don't recall ever asking, can't you drain it? Because they can. In some situations, evidently mine, you can't. And the guy says, well, there's always disability, he says to me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, because above my eyes, like right now, I feel like I have a headache all the time, and I can't sleep.
You see, it doesn't really affect my eyesight. It doesn't affect. I don't have headaches or anything like that. So he's a bit puzzled about that. But he said, well, apparently Addenbrooke's University Hospital in England, where I'm at also with my heart stuff, Patworth. They are ranked like one of the best fucking hospitals in the whole of Europe. So he said, without blowing my own trumpet, you are in good hands here to try to figure it out. Because if we are not the best, we are one of the best places in Europe for this shit. So we'll see what comes out of it. But it doesn't really help me in today's situation until they can try to get it diagnosed. At the moment, they just have eliminated out many years, and they have eliminated out, and he's even eliminated, they call it dizziness and vertigo as well, because it's like an internal thing, and it's more when I close the eyes rather than when I have my eyes open. So, fuck, I don't understand half the shit they're talking about. But.
Well, the best thing you can do for yourself too is look up information so you know what the hell they're talking about, or you may have a question, because they're not going to voluntarily tell you everything. That's for sure. I'll never have my balance.
He was very, very thorough, and he spent a lot. I was lucky because I went to the ENT department they called me in on a Saturday.
Yeah.
And it's very, very quiet. So it was kind of an emergency appointment. So during the weekdays, it's like fucking mayhem there. But during the weekend, I mean, he took seriously good time. There was hardly fuck all people there. And actually, it wasn't one of those take a test and the doctor call you in 3 hours on the phone. I mean, it was a proper physical examination with a professor or one of the top dudes at the department, you know.
Has that kept you from working at all?
Well, I'm kind of working, but you know, I need to go and sit down or lay down a while, and I get irritated. I get kind of tired. That's why I haven't been on YouTube that much and spoken to you guys and stuff, because it kind of get a bit sort of tiring with a lot of people gabbing over each other and whatever have you. So I've been sort of staying off a bit, not to cause any unnecessary unnecessary, you know, blowing up with my sarcasm in a wrong way.
Yeah.
Gear, it's good to hear from you, Gear. And we get
Yeah.
tired
Hey,
of people going off also. We get tired of hearing someone taking over the stream for 10 minutes of their opinion. That gets a little old.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know how it is.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I guess some people know how to explain themselves better than others do, I guess.
Yeah, I was concerned about you because I knew we hadn't heard from you, and the last time we did hear from you, you said you were having those issues. So it's they've ruled out the inner ear or the inner ear.
They ruled out many ears. They ruled out the DVBP or whatever, that crystal. Yeah, they kind of have ruled out the air things. That's why. So if it's something with the ears, it will be something which is deeper that they can't really check and whatever. He even cleaned out my ears properly. He took a good time and did a lot of shit he didn't really have to do. So I was very happy with the visit on Saturday that I had in Edinburgh. Normally it's 20 minutes in and out and there's bullshit, and I had about 3.5 hours, or well, almost 3 hours. Yeah, just over 3 hours there doing all kinds of shit. And he said 6 to 8 weeks for the MRI, and I'm waiting for some other stuff for that balance test, the technical stuff. But to my surprise, on yesterday, I already got my MRI scan booked for the 6th of December. So that's only 2 weeks. So they really are speeding it up, even when there is a huge demand on all kinds of services after Rona in UK as well.
When it comes to neurological stuff, it's not an exact science, you know. It's awfully difficult. They make assumptions based on what they've experienced, you know, from people. So, I mean, mine, you know, I have pressure right above my eyes and in the back of my head, and every day is like a freaking headache. I ain't kidding. But when it comes to equilibrium and all that, it's one of those things where there's nothing for me, that there's nothing they can do.
Yeah, I'm kind of seasick from, you know, I mean, it's better after a night's sleep, and then it's fairly okay the first hour and a half when I'm up and about, and then it gets worse during the day and whatever have you. And,
what about light affecting it?
No. I mean, I'm affected more on the balance shit they did and whatever when I closed my eyes.
Well, I had 3 pressure points, and the guy eliminated one of them. And after I got done, I'd go back for follow-up visits, and I couldn't walk a straight line to save my life, you know.
But the whole thing is that, you know, what they're saying, I mean, it could drag out forever, Kiko, as well, because, I mean, end of the day, I'm still under ENT. So this MRI thing I'm going to do now is to is to see if there is something with the in the inner ear or in the brain connected to the ears and whatever. And I kind of almost hope they find something now under ENT rather than if they go all this shit they're gonna do now and then they say, well, we can't really find, so now we have to refer you to neurological, and that's a completely different department, and that so that's probably maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks to get in to see somebody there. I mean, I can just see it dragging out for months and months. You know what I mean?
Well,
It's
that,
bollocks.
that's where you got to put your foot down and say, hey, you know what? I need some answers now. I don't need to go. They know how long they can treat you before they start pissing you off because they need to make money for their hospital. But I wouldn't totally put all my faith into them, because if you don't ask questions, they're never going to let on everything. I'm telling you, they're not, because that guy, they should have sent you right to that neurological department. That's what I saw. Neurosurgeons. They're wasting your time and money seeing anybody lower than that.
Well, it doesn't cost me jack shit because it's NHS, it's free health service here. So, and I have to say that they have speeded it up very quickly for me as well. I mean, I was looking at months and months, and I mean, they're taking it quite because you know me. I mean, I don't sit back and fucking twin thumbs and are like sort of okay. Well, I call my fucking GP, I call everybody and batter them, because I know if you don't do that, you just end up in the back of the queue all the time.
Yeah.
I spent my working life troubleshooting electronic equipment, and I can't imagine trying to troubleshoot the human body, especially the brain. I mean,
dude, the brain. The brain is such a complex. There's virtually there ain't a whole hell of a lot they can do for you other than meds. It's not like a broken arm that they can heal.
But Tony, that I think, I don't know what the percentage is, but they still say that my mother's cousin in Norway was one of the most well-renowned brain surgeons in Norway, and it always baffled me when he told me that 90% of the human brain is still undiscovered.
Right, we have no idea. Right,
exactly.
They know a fraction of the potential of the brain, but
yeah, they know about 10%. He told me, Kiko, they know about 10%, and that was a few years back. So
yeah, that might be pushing it.
Yeah, it could be.
Hey, well, we know you made appearances here and there, but
well, glad to hear from you, and glad to.
What's that?
How long has this been going on? I mean, all your life you traveled on airplanes a lot. Did it ever?
Yeah. No, this has just been gone on for about 3 months now, and I just went to bed one day and I woke up the next morning. I mean, it just happened overnight.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing gradually, nothing, anything. It was just like boom.
Well, something triggered. I mean, obviously, but
yeah.
Man, sheesh. Oh, you have to stay in the dark the rest of your life.
Well, we'll see. Well, if I hope, thank God I don't have to wait 6 to 8 weeks for the MRI. I'm gonna have that on the 6th of December. So that should definitely rule out if I'm gonna go from ENT to neurological. So that is speeding it up faster than I was even hoping for, because he was hoping for 6 to 8 weeks, and they fucking got me, and I did a couple of phone calls and bashed it, and they bloody got me a MRI scan for 2 weeks.
Have you been able to drive or not even attempt to?
Sorry.
Have you been able to drive a vehicle, or have you not
Yeah,
even
I
attempted?
do drive smaller distances, but it's more than an anxiety shit. So I'm kind of,
Oh,
I don't do my walks anymore for my heart stuff. I haven't been able to do because you never know when you get that fucking feeling and whatever have you, and I'm kind of sort of dreading to go for longer drives and whatever have you. So I do drive to the local stores and all that shit, but I wouldn't go on like a
that's
2 hour
all.
drive, you know.
That's all I do. As a matter of fact, I got to tell you, this happened to me the other day. I took my car out and I made enough driving videos, like 2 a month for April. I turned down a freaking one-way street and I was going the wrong way. And then I'd go through stoplights and not even know till after the fact. That's why I drive to the grocery store usually, and then I come home. Um, and I didn't even know I was on it. Well, evidently a car was, beeping the shit out of their horn, but I took a right turn. I didn't notice any one way signs, and I I can only take the areas I do drive in. I know them like the back of my hand, so it
Well,
helps.
that place you turned down, is that a familiar street that you often
No,
drive, or oh,
no, it's on the east side of Milwaukee, a little bit north of where I am, but I hadn't been in that area for shit. I might have been 20 some years old. So, but still, me paying attention to what I'm doing, while I'm driving. It's like I'm constantly. If you ever smoked weed and felt paranoid, where you're always looking, like double, triple, quadruple checking.
I always
That's
drove like 20 miles an hour when I did that. I was so paranoid
well,
that I wouldn't even press the gas pedal hardly. I'm so paranoid. So, from
uh,
what I
I
remember,
I was hit. I was in well, obviously I was in an area I wasn't familiar with, but still, I should have been able to see the one-way signs, which I didn't.
or a
As
big
soon
"Do
as
not enter" sign or something. Right?
Well, yeah, but I did. I swear to God, to this right now, I don't remember seeing that one. But I remember the guy beeping the hell out. He was like, man, right on the horn. I got it after that, but
Well, there's
uh,
times you hear about it in the States where you hear someone's driving down a freeway in the wrong direction, you
well,
know, and
that's a little bit. When you're
it's kind of
cruising,
hard to get on and exit, from the wrong direction.
yeah.
I
Well,
don't know how they do it, but
dude, I've had that happen to me while I'm exiting with the bus. Here comes a car coming down, and I'm thinking, and he knew he was going the wrong way because he made a little right turn. Obviously, he didn't want to wait for the stoplight and go down across the road where the actual ramp is to go in the direction he needed to go. Oh man, I'm just thinking, it's slick out, it's winter, I can't hit these brakes. If I do, hit them hard, I'm gonna slide. And if you come on that ramp the wrong way, bad things are gonna happen. That's for sure. So, have you exhausted all the meds possible for your situation, Gear?
Well, I mean, the meds they gave me because they thought it might have been many years obviously didn't work at all. So they don't know, they don't have any medication to give me at the moment before they can actually know what to give me medication for.
Well, don't let the neurosurgeons bullshit you. They can write you a script if they want. The ones I had said they couldn't, but they were lying because they wanted me to go down and see the neurologist.
Yeah, but I haven't even gone that far yet because I'm still on the ENT,
Hmm.
and they tried a couple of three medications over the past month, and none of it helped. But that was for many years and some other bullshit, and that didn't do anything.
Hmm.
So
did they do
we'll
any kind
see.
of
It's
like
only a
eye
couple of
exam?
weeks. It's only a couple of weeks to the MRI, and that MRI will determine a lot, I guess.
Did
Are
they do
you?
any kind of a eye exam or like look at your eyes to see if they were, sometimes your eyes kind of move?
Yeah, no, we did all of that. We did. It's nothing with my eyes. that he could see on the physiological test that he did the last Saturday.
Oh man. Someday soon, huh?
Yeah,
I hate the waiting part.
yeah, fuck, that's the.
What I don't. Now I've said it many
Because you
times.
know every morning, you know exactly when you wake up, you know exactly what the rest of your day gonna be like. You know what I mean? It's just
Yeah.
like fucking monotonous. You know, it's the same shit, different day.
I was getting extremely aggravated with the lack of progress for me. I think it would have been better off for me to if they would have just said up front, look, we can't do nothing for you except this. Yeah, you're gonna grumble a little bit and then you get over it. But when somebody strings you for a couple of years, then you start getting pissed off. You know,
Yeah,
it ain't right. It's not right because I wouldn't be coming there if I didn't need their help. And if they can't help me, point me to who can. And if you don't want to do that, then don't tell me to keep coming back. You know, because if they kept having me come back for the MRI photos, but yet that was whatever's my issue. There's nothing they can do for it. So why do I keep going back for it? You know.
yeah, that's a bit silly.
Yeah, I mean, well, I didn't know no better. Doc says come back. Gonna come back and see us? I said, sure, I'm paid up for the year. Why not? But I called my insurance company and I said, do you have a limit? If you're seeing a doctor, do you have a limit that doctor, if he goes past, you're not gonna let him do it anymore because you haven't progressed past something? And she said no. So
But I think the difference, Tony, is that the best experts in England, even if they work for private hospitals and their own private, well, they also work for the NHS, and NHS have no reason to do shit that is not necessary because they have no financial gain from
right.
from doing it. So
Yeah.
I think that's one thing. I mean, if I was going to a private hospital on a private health insurance, I could see how they could drag shit out like that.
Oh,
But NHS doesn't
yeah.
really have they want to try to figure it out and get this sorted ASAP rather than drag shit out.
Yeah.
So I think that's a big difference.
Oh yeah, sure is. Yeah, I didn't think about that when I was saying what I was saying. Because over here, they'll milk. That's a cash cow, and they'll keep milking that baby. You know, and they. Oh my God.
Oh,
I
hi.
guess.
I see Bud is writing something here. I don't know why. Why don't you come up, Bud? Hello,
Yeah,
brother.
Bud.
Bud
What's
here
going
is.
on, Budster?
What's up, Budster?
Bud's got a huge message there.
No, Bud, they have found out it's not many years. They have ruled that out already. So, but thank you for
Thinking
saying
of it.
that anyway, Bud.
Yeah, yeah. They looked at Doc first time he asked me. He says, "So how's your vision?" I don't know, man. It's all right. He goes, man, you got a massive amount, of fluid built up because it doesn't flow correctly. So I went to the optometrist because I had an eye test, and this lady tried telling me this was a week after I had that. That I knew, and she says, "Oh, you don't have any fluid up there." I said, "You know what? Some neurosurgeons say I do, and 2,000 some pictures say I do." So they don't have optometrists don't have the equipment that the hospital has.
I mean, I'll tell you how. I mean, first, because the GP had double booked me. So first I went to something called Woodland Surgery on the Tuesday.
Hmm.
And they just did like a simple air test, and then a fucking doctor called me back 2 hours later and told me that, oh no, we're gonna send you to neurological straight away. It has nothing to do with your ears, this balance sheet. Not even knowing my history, not seeing me, no
Yeah.
nothing. Then I got this appointment at the hospital at ENT, so I called them up and I say, hey, I've just been to Woodland surgery doing this shit. Is any, should I? Probably the same shit you guys gonna do at the hospital. So maybe it's just a double booking for my GP. And they said, nah, you come anyway because we are much better equipped and we know much more. So if I had just ignored going to the proper hospital at Addenbrooke's for this, because I already went to Woodland surgery, which is a part of the NHS as well, I would have, not been any smarter whatsoever. So fucking thank God that I went for a second opinion and I went to the proper fucking place. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Man, when I first went in there, I just had one hand on I was sitting there like this. Okay. Then they give me this test. And I failed miserably on it, memory test. And I'm thinking to myself, my God, man, if the next step down for me would be a total freaking shutdown of my brain because I took too long to do it and I was wrong most of the times, you know. And when the doctor calls me back, it's at the first hospital, and she says, "Well, I diagnosed you with anxiety and depression." I said, "Well, really, gee, one or
Hey,
the other."
Tony, I was on a live stream with Simon just before yours, and I jumped off there. I'm not talking, but we were just texting a bit there, and Garrett was there, and Maria, and
Who?
and
Who's live
Ronnie.
stream?
Simon. He just finished one just before you got on live.
Okay.
And Maria mentioned something about that she was blocked out from your channel or something.
No, she's not.
Oh, okay.
No, she's not. No. No, I wouldn't do that to her. She's never given me any reason to do that.
No, okay, well.
Yeah, and I'm not kidding either. Uh, I just
I don't
don't
know why
do
she
it.
why she wrote that in the, because we were talking about going over to yours, and she said she couldn't access yours because
Sure, well,
you had
yeah.
done something strange or whatever. So her and Simon was blocked out of the channel.
No, not her. No, he was trying to talk through hers last week, so I blocked it then, but I unblocked it after the day was over.
Oh, okay.
So she's fine. I don't know who communicates with her, but she's not blocked. I just I don't like answering any questions about anything personal anymore. Issues with other folks.
No,
So I mean, I don't for a reason, and I don't care if to have anybody like that come on here or anyone and create a big stink. So she's always welcome here. I mean, she she's a nice person.
yeah, no, I haven't really been following over so much what's been going on for the past couple of 3
Well,
weeks.
you probably wouldn't want to.
No, okay.
Nah, I'm just. Who knows? Well, you know what? I have never had any issues with any questions or such that you ever asked me. I mean, you could always ask me anything. And if I don't want to comment on it, I'll just tell you. It's not like you can't ask me the rest of your life, But um, some people have hidden agendas that they want to ask for to rile people up. So don't ever feel shy or or wrong if you ever have a question for me, because
I would never. I would
I've never had, and I don't ever anticipate having an issue with you.
It's very hard to have an issue with me, to be honest with you. I'm a very patient man.
Yeah, we are. Yo, I witnessed that.
And Gear and I have a very similar sense of humor. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Keith.
and
Uh,
sarcasm. And some people
well,
just don't get that. And we're
well,
not trying to offend anybody. We're trying to get a little laugh. But
yeah.
obviously it goes over your head sometimes, you know. So,
Yeah, you know what? I think it's when somebody doesn't understand something, they're still trying to process it, which pisses them off because they can't process it. You know, and then you just heap some more on it. And sometimes I just, within the last few months, I just find myself going, forget it, man. You know,
I
it's
mean,
like,
Kiko, it's
Gear
quite
and I
funny.
we talked, when Gary's on and we'll comment just out of fun, and
hmm,
because we find it very difficult to even fathom that he's been on
Yeah,
the earth 72 years and he's so
exactly.
naive about so many things,
not knowing
you know.
anything.
I mean, Kiko, I have to say that me and you, we are extremely synced when it comes to those things.
Yeah, we both get a little chuckle out of it, but nobody else laughs, so but that's okay,
Oh,
that's
Ronald
fine with
gets
me.
it. Ronald is the only dude from the west coast of America who actually understand British humor and British
Yeah.
Right,
sarcasm.
right,
I
right.
found that a lot of people on the East Coast, like New Yorkers, Boston, and or that side of the US, they actually get British humor and sarcasm. The further west you go, oh fuck's sake, man! I remember I told you the story about my partner, Larry. Yeah, is from Santa Monica and from Pacific Palisades. Yeah, and he used to come to visit our offices in London, and we used to go to meetings here in England. And after the meeting, he comes out and he goes, "Here." I said, "Yeah, Larry." He said, "Oh, were they taking the piss out of us?" I said, "No, Larry. This is just how we speak. This is just sarcasm. It just flies over your fucking head, man." And he goes, okay, okay, okay. I mean, and after all the years he was my partner, he never, ever, ever got to the point where he understood the fucking sarcasm. He was just a kind of a laid back, a little bit older
I,
than me,
I,
LA dude,
I like the story you had about Kansas, and I like the one that you said in the bar where the guy was putting down the thought process you might have had as far as running businesses go.
Yeah,
That you put him in his place.
yeah.
That I got the biggest laugh out of that.
I mean,
That
I credit, when I was growing up, my dad wasn't a drinker, but when he'd
mm,
hang out with other guys, they'd bust each other balls left and right,
oh yeah.
just to get a good giggle out of it. And I had two older brothers, so I'm experienced of getting the beat down and then
Yeah.
learning how to give a beat down,
Yeah.
and it's all in fun. But some people take
Well,
offense to everything.
if I know you greatly for a long time, there's things you can say to me that somebody I don't know they can't because they don't know me. But you know, just because to hear two people saying stuff to each other don't mean that third party can jump in because he doesn't know either one of you. You know.
I mean, Tony, I used to have this. I mean, I was like baffled because I had an office I had an a New York Israeli guy, Richard Lindenbaum, which was my
Mm,
partner in my business in Israel. And we had another Israeli partner as well, which was like purely Israeli, so not Jewish but Israeli. And when Richard and him were talking together, I mean, sometimes I had to say, "Oh, wow, wow, guys, are you just about to kill each other?" And Richard smiles and he looks at me because they're obviously speaking Hebrew, and he said, No, we're just having a nice conversation. But you hear two Israelis talking to each other. You think they're gonna fucking kill each other.
Wait, they're about, their voice range goes up and down.
Oh God, man. And I several times I said, Richard and Teddy, what the fuck are you guys talking about? It looks like you're going in each other's throats. And I said, no, we're just having a normal, nice conversation.
Yeah, I hate to see when it does get heated.
Exactly.
Yeah, you gotta, if you got a good sense of humor, you got to be able to take it in when you dish it. It's
Yeah,
Sure.
my wife, she'll say, "Are you yelling?" And I said, "No," but she said, "It sounds like you're yelling." I said, "Well, when you're talking to your girlfriends on the phone, it sounds like you guys are in an argument, but you're just actually talking normal."
yeah,
I said, "You never heard me yell, but they
get off
take it
that fucking
differently than they
phone.
give it out,
Yeah, some people's,
But I heard something from so many different, and my experience as well with the Philippines is that Filipinos is very adverse to confrontation, confrontation,
Right,
and they
right.
say that the worst thing a Caucasian or a foreigner can do to a Filipina or Pina is raise the voice because they will go in their shell straight away and go to tempo and
oh boy,
they don't like confrontation. So you should never raise your voice trying to get something across with a Filipina, even if you kind of fucking lose it.
Right.
You need to keep it under control.
There's times, when I'm trying to make my point, I don't try to beat around the bush with anybody. I if I state something, I try to have the facts to back me up, right? But I'll say something and I'll say, no, it isn't. And I'll say, yeah, it is. It's right there in front of your eyes. No, it isn't. I say, well, look, if you can't believe what you're looking at, then I can't help you. I mean,
oh
I don't just say shit to say shit. I back it up with the truth or the facts.
yeah,
And
Exactly.
for you to come out and say, no, it isn't. No, it isn't. I said, okay, well, I can't help you then.
well,
Instead,
yeah,
I'll
I
use
know.
la la land.
I know that's frustrating. It's the same in Thailand as well. I mean, if a Thai puts in his head
party
that
here.
there is 95 centimeters in a meter, it doesn't really fucking matter how much you can prove you are correct that it's 100 centimeters because they still think it's 95, and then you just have to give up.
And if a point is, subjective, then yeah, just take it as, well, yeah, okay, that's your opinion or this is my opinion. But when you have something that's facts, logical, uh, and there's proof right in front of you and you still disagree with it, then you're just not accepting reality.
And that's why when I was younger, it really used to irritate me, and now I just feel sorry for them and keep my mouth shut. But I guess you learn after a few experiences.
One thing my parents always taught us, they had a saying, consider the source, like
Yeah,
just take it from who's speaking, okay? And never suffer fools, they say, right? That means don't bring yourself down to their level of stupidity.
Exactly.
yeah. If they, you'll know people by now that you can get a feel for whether they're actually sincere or they're full of shit. You know, and if they're full of it, there's no need to further it. Anything because those kinds of things never end.
I had a coworker one time. We're troubleshooting an electronic uh, problem, right?
Mm.
And I'm showing him on an oscilloscope the facts, right? And I say the problem can't be outside of this building, right? Because it's good right here on the oscilloscope. He insists that it's outside the building. I said, okay, we'll do it your way. He orders the item. We go up in the freezing weather and change it, in January when it's 10 degrees outside. And guess what? We come back in. That oscilloscope has the same display, and we still have the same problem. I said, and now are you going to take my advice? I'll tell you what the problem is, Like
You just say-
it's kind of like a Y, where two signals come into one, okay? And there's one circuit card that takes those two signals in and puts out one output. I said, the problem is on both channels, so it must be that card, the splitter card.
Yeah.
Guess what it was? It was the splitter card. But this guy had like 20 years more experience than me.
Oh,
But he was
listen.
hell bent on his opinion was right.
Hey, I got to tell you this.
He couldn't take the facts.
I don't know if you. Yeah, he still can't, huh? I don't know if you. If I ever said it, but when I was in the factory, I got the troubleshooting machines before he called the big boys down to come fix it. So I showed a guy something once. He thought I didn't know shit, but by the time I got done telling him, he never told me and gave me the credit. He had told other people. So he's in the back. He's in the back on this plug mill machine. He's got a vibrator feeder bowl, and they come down this track and it cuts the cylinder. And he was over there one day, so I thought, oh, I'll go over there, see if there's anything I can do, because I know a little about it, a little more than the operator knows, because I ran the machines. And I said, hey Jack, do you need some help with this? He goes, no, I'm trying to find the keyway, because when you don't have the keyway, the motor keeps turning and it's not doing it the way it's supposed to. It's not going the way it's supposed to go. He said, no, get out of here. I got 25 years of experience. I said, well, maybe that 25 years of experience will help you find that motherfucker then.
25 years of doing it wrong.
And I'm like, who's this asshole? I'm trying to help him, but because I'm not on his same level, they were constantly giving me, quizzing me on the shit I do, because they didn't want to be bothered with it. But when they started laying people off and started having those machine repair guys right on the line, then they started doing whatever it took.
This dude in the military, I had my 3 days off and I come back into work, and he's got this thing tore all apart.
Boy.
And I said, well, what's the problem? He said, well, so-and-so can't get the communication. And I went over, I looked, there's a local remote switch, right? And I flipped it back to remote. I said, put all the cards back in. Tell him it's okay. He had a damn local remote switch in the wrong position.
Oh, boy. We had this moment more story about we had this machine. It was a shackle notcher. The lock bars would go through and they put the shackle in there and punch the kick plate to lock it in there. And they had these unit places. I don't know if you know what one is. It's a square about that long and like 1/4 inch wide, and it lets the fingers go back and forth. Drop one, hold one back, like that all night long. Well, the problem, we kept going through these things a couple times a day, and the guys in the tool crib were getting pissed because they had to take that broken thread out of the back of the unit place. So I was watching it one day, and it had this block. It had a block on the back of it where the airlines went in that retract. And I watched it, and I took it out. And when it would retract, it was spanking that block, so it would crack that screw. So I took it into a friend of mine, worked in a tool room. I said, Ronnie, can you bore this out a little bit? Because this keeps getting this finger keeps smacking it. And he bored it out. And that fucking machine never got called for another unit place. And these guys are the ones with the frickin' education, the know-it-alls. They didn't even know it. So I took great satisfaction in sticking their nose in that shit.
Yeah, when I just knew out of in the military, you go to a technical school for your electronics and stuff, right? So I
Mm.
get to my first base, and after about 8 months, all the operators are always calling me in to fix something. And I'm an E3, and
Mm.
I got all these E5s, E4s, E6s sitting around reading books. Back then, there was no internet, right?
Mm.
And I'm thinking, I'm like, when I asked them, I said, well, why do you always call me in? They say, because you're the only one that fixes it. I said, and I'm thinking to myself, all these dudes are making all this money more than me, but they're
Oh,
always calling on me to come in because they know that I'll fix their problem.
yeah. A lot of these things were um, just, we had these machines that were like these sonic sealers, that they seal the plastic bag together when you have the parts in it. And every day there was somebody up there. And the timing on these machines, I don't know what, but when you have a bunch of bunch of different parts that rely on each other to make it go, and one of them's out of sync, it's all effed up. It won't work, you know. And these are guys. I was getting $18 an hour. These guys are making 25 or 26, and they didn't want to. We would come down and watch it, turn a couple screws, adjust it,
Yeah,
and
they don't
watch.
want to bother to do anything.
Yeah, I mean, but when they started laying people off, all of a sudden they were jumping up. Hey,
Yeah,
I'll fix that spring winder and the cylinder assembly.
yeah, I'm the most important now. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. At first shift to do to me, their last break is 2 o'clock, and they leave at 3. So there's nothing's getting done after their
not
break.
after 2 o'clock. No.
Nah, so I would come in and it'd be all these spring winders. I had to load them up, and if they needed adjustment, then they did it because they were real fine little ones. And every day, like without fail, man, 7 of them. There's 10 of them. 7 of them are out of wire. You know, and then the people that work on the modules, you got 10 people there. You can't have them sitting around. So I prioritized the shit because when my boss wasn't there, his lead guy, which had nothing to do with my job, was telling me what to do, and that wasn't working out too good.
Yeah, I left the military. I figured, well, in the civilian world, I'll get paid, for my competency. Oh boy, that was a big
Yeah.
mistake.
Well, I
Big
told my
time.
son this. I said, you know what you know, but don't ever tell somebody is on the same level as above you or with you everything you know, because they're going to use that to further
Right.
themselves in a company. So you don't ever want to tell everybody everything you know.
I'd even have a coworker say, he'd say, how did you know it was that? I said, well,
Let's
it's called, we have a thing called the half split method, where you go halfway and see if the problem's before or after it, right? And then you work your way back. But some things are obvious, but it wasn't obvious to him. So,
So is there a standard manual for this stuff wording?
oh yeah, everything has
Okay.
technical
Well, is
instructions, technical orders, all those things.
you got an operator's manual or repair manual, and the guy's still asking you questions about it.
Yeah, and they have like flow charts and stuff. And
Troubleshooting methods. Oh
yeah,
my God.
trouble. They
How do
have
you
it
know
written
that?
down to like the third grade level.
Oh
But
man.
but hey, some people just can't do it.
Uh, do they rhyme those like Dr. Seuss?
Yeah.
You know? Oh my God. I'm just glad I don't have to do. I can do a lot of things. It's just they require a lot of effort, and lately I haven't been into putting a lot of effort into anything. But uh, if I can, I will eventually. But I tell my son, I said I don't know a lot, but whatever I know, if you want to learn something, let me know.
I just finished my third week of retirement, and I don't miss it at all.
Oh, I've been going for mine in a year.
I miss interacting with some of the coworkers I had, but
Yeah,
I don't miss the job at all.
I missed an interaction too, but I didn't really have a whole lot of time for the interaction because most of my interaction were with the doofuses on the bus, you know.
Your interaction was mostly with passengers, wasn't it?
Yeah, you know what, man? You see these fucking right away. You want to tell these people. You just, oh my god! I started laughing to myself. I said, somebody said, "What's the matter?" I said, you know what? I've broken it down every which way I know, and this conversation's over because, and I'm not being disrespectful, but you're not absorbing anything I tell you. So what else is there to tell you? Go ask some other passengers that'll fuck it up for you.
Yeah,
Tony, we have a nursery rhyme that we used to sing when we were taking buses when we were kids at school, which goes like, en bussjåfør, det er en mann med godt humør, og har han ikke godt humør, så er han ingen bussjåfør, which basically translates to that if you are a bus driver, you need to have patience and a good sense of humor. And if you don't have patience and you don't have good humor, you can never be a bus driver.
The patience part, it's extremely tested. It isn't. It goes beyond having. It goes beyond patience because you got people that are repetitively asking you to. No matter what you tell them, they don't believe you. I told one guy once. I said, "Look, you just took 10 seconds of my life I can't get back. Now, go have go be a doofus with somebody else." But that was for me to have patience was acquired because my father showed none, and I was like that too. But I found out as years went on, it was a lot better to deal with it.
Typically you can see when you go into a black cab in London, yeah, a black cab is a typical example. If there is a young black cab driver who hasn't been driving for a while, he's like a fucking Italian on steroids, shouting, screaming, honking the horn, everything. And then you get a guy who done it for 40 years, and he realized the traffic situation in London, that there is always some roadworks and everything, and just sits there patiently because, you look at some of those young black cab drivers, you think they're never going to make it till they are 35 because they're going to die of a fucking heart attack.
Oh. I had a young lady ask me, she says, I was on this route that at one point in the route it splits. One goes down 13th, one goes down 20th. And she says, does this bus turn? And I said, well, yeah, it turns and goes straight. Because she said, does this bus turn or go straight? I said, it does them both. She said, you know what I mean? I said, no, I don't know what you mean. If you tell me, does this go to 20th Street? We can end this conversation a lot earlier.
Yeah, but, they gave you both options for the answer, and you say, yeah, both are possible.
Does this bus go around? They'll ask you that halfway through it so they can ride with you all the way to the other end and back. And I'm thinking to myself, your life must be freaking boring because I had this young man was dressed up in his fancy tennis shoes and jacket and hat and all of that. And in this route I had did three round trips on one route. When it came back to the station, it made 2 more on another route. You just change your destination sign. So this guy waits until after going up the way I went up 3 times, when I come back and I go to the other one, then he asks me, well, where's this bus go? And he got on at 4 in the morning. It's 7:30 in the morning. And I thought, all that freaking time, man, you sat there, didn't say a freaking word. And now you want to know how long the layover is.
Well, I mean, I know about some psychologists in London and whatever. There are people which are extremely lonely, and on the other side, also very, very shy. And they wouldn't go into a pub or anything like that, but they will actually get up in the morning and they will ride the subway, the tube, from one end to another, just hoping that somebody gonna sit next to them and strike up a conversation. And they would do that for 8 hours, back and forth the whole day.
Yeah,
People.
we had our ride arounds like that. Some of them I liked. One guy, this dude lived underneath this railroad bridge year round. And, at first everybody'd be making fun of him, this and that. And one night I had a conversation with him, and I thought, man, this guy's pretty cool. He's a nice guy. And he, this is because it's him. He'd fall asleep and I would know it. So when I get to my last round trip, I say, hey, I'm going back now. Are you want to come back to the station with me, or are you going to go down another one? But he always woke up and never gave nobody shit, and yet they would give him shit. And he snapped on a couple people like that. The guy was a super nice guy. He just for whatever reason he liked living outside. I'm surprisingly he didn't smell or nothing. So I told other people, you don't fuck with somebody you don't know like that, because you don't know him. You don't know what he's capable of.
Well, I've seen a lot of, there are some YouTube channels which is built towards interviewing people in homeless in California and whatever have you. And, the stories, some of them hold down a job. Very, very good paying job, got divorced and whatever happened, or they got ill or whatever, and they couldn't, they got ruined by hospital bills and whatever, ending up living on the, from one day driving a Porsche and living in a nice house to the next day, more or less, living on the street. So there is a lot of intelligent beings that has ended up on the street. Their own.
We're all just one job away from being being that way. And I had guys like that, and believe me, after doing it a while, you get to know who's who. So you know how to deal with them. If it weren't for the good people out of every income level and of every race, if it weren't for them, I don't think that job would have been tolerable, for me. But
you see what Unbothered Avocados writing here. I don't know who she
Christmas
is.
presents. Hey, where's mine? What the hell?
In England, we actually give we typically give the Christmas presents to our postmen and our dust bin drivers. That's very typical here in England to do.
I probably said this, but Bothered never heard it before. She said she was going to come on next week too. Here comes Edith.
Car for the grill. You need to bring it back in.
What's up, ladies?
So,
hey, Professor, how was your trip to the tailors or whatever, wherever you went?
Dry cleaner was smooth and easy.
Dry cleaner, yeah, dry cleaner.
Yeah, right. I'm back.
Are you back?
Yeah, I just woke up out of a nap. I was waiting on Tony's shit and fell asleep.
Well, there you go. I'm too boring.
Not yet. I just got here.
Maybe you overexerted yourself elsewhere.
No.
Well, you must have had like an hour nap then, because I saw you on assignments when we were talking, just chatting on the text there, and then I was waiting for you to pop into Tony's, and I thought, you're gone to the casino or something.
I fell asleep in Simon's shit.
You're getting old, man.
You mean getting? I got the certificate already. Well, Tony, your boy got acquitted of all charges. So
You did, huh?
yeah, he's gonna go work for what's that idiot name? what that dude named that congressman from Florida, he offered him a job as an intern.
You know what? The guy should shun the spotlight. Just because he got off doesn't mean he can go out there and shoot his mouth off about stuff. Now he got, you know, he got messed with, that's for sure. But what that shows everybody is, don't be shy about pulling that trigger next time somebody smacks you, you know, with the skateboard.
Rather, yeah, but I mean, they were saying, yeah, well, he put himself in harm's way, and he out there with a gun.
Yeah, yeah. You know, he wasn't even from here either, so.
He wasn't even from there, but he down there protecting property and shooting people.
Well, if I were him, man, uh, um, I wouldn't be. I would keep low. You know.
Hmm. Well,
Is
I
this
figure like
about
this.
is this about this court case that's been going on with that white young dude who killed somebody in self-defense during one of
Yeah.
the riots? But that just went to deliberation a couple of days ago. So is
Couple
the verdict
days. Yeah.
is the verdict out already?
Yeah.
Verdict
Well,
is
they
out.
I have to say that prosecutor was the biggest douche ever.
That-
I mean, what a fucking
that they
idiot.
said they said on TV that the prosecutor was doing the job for the defense attorney.
Yeah, I mean, I listened to some of it because on the Crime and Justice channel or something, and I mean that fucking, I mean, you know, that dude, I wouldn't even employ as a cleaner in my company. I mean, what a fucking idiot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, they were talking about him, just tearing him apart on all those justice channels and you know, on TV. I think
He got a rough ride in the media as well. Not matter if it was liberal or not. I mean, he I can't see him lasting long as a prosecutor anymore.
that kind of showed his lack of either knowledge or saying things that he doesn't need to be saying. You know, evidently he didn't watch Perry Mason, so.
I mean, he
All I
was
know is the fucking judge wasn't fucking. He wasn't straight either. This motherfucker came in already. You know, he was already biased on the
Oh,
joint,
sure. Yeah.
and then he giving the fucking jury all kinds of fucking screwy instructions and shit. Got them confused. But the boy should do some fucking time. But
That's what I told my son. I said, you know, I fully expected him to get like 10 years and do 4 good behavior or something.
right. I mean, you don't just shoot 2 people
No,
in
you
fear
didn't.
for your life.
He didn't just shoot him. That one guy had his pistol in his face, and the other guy was smacking him with the skateboard because he thought he was funny. But the bottom line is, all these people that got involved in some guy that broke the fucking law, and now they're dead. You know.
Yeah. I mean,
So
he shot one dude 4 times. 4 times?
yeah, if you don't
Come
learn, man, you'll never learn. So this is like get out of
I
jail.
feel sorry for the boy. Because you know what happens when somebody kills somebody? That shit never goes away. It's going to creep up on him and it's going to haunt his ass for the rest of his life.
If he
but
if he
it
doesn't live
wasn't-
his if he doesn't live his life the right way, well, for certain, and it won't take very long either.
But it wasn't immigrants or it wasn't African Americans, whatever he shot, was it? It was other white dudes, because I think if it had, that's
Yeah,
correct.
there
Yeah,
were
because
two
I think if that had been 2 African Americans that he had shot, there would have been riots again if he got off.
Right?
Yeah, well, it went a different way, but anyway,
They were
Anyway,
prepared
I
for
mean-
that.
That's the way of the world. You know, this attorney, that guy that did get shot, he got an attorney now, and on TV, he before told his mother, "I shouldn't have never did this," you know, and now that he has an attorney, all of a sudden he didn't hear nothing, and you could tell he was lying because he had 3 or 4 cops there yelling at him, and he went and did what he wanted to do anyway. So that town, and I don't know the guy, the cop don't know him, you don't know what he's got. So the town got torched, and a lot of people lost their livelihoods because of some guy got a call for a domestic violence call.
And the cop,
It was, you know, it just,
Hey, it's time again for your weekly Caesar Sportsbook report.
no,
I'd
the
like to
fuck
take
it
a-
ain't.
the hell is that?
I was watching the boys break down when the verdict came out and shit. Damn, Robert.
You know what, man? You'd be better if you didn't even. They had the father interviewed here that lost a 3-year-old boy. It sounds kind of fishy because the mama had been killed, and then sometime before the boy, and then the guy that took the kid got killed, and the kid was found dead, and he was a beautiful kid, and somehow I got to think that the father was involved in it. But it was such a freaking shame. It's unbelievable. I don't know what the mother did. Maybe the guy didn't want to pay support. But beautiful child, man. If you can Google that, Google it up and look at his photo. If you don't love children, if you're not affected by that, there's something wrong with you. You know,
every child's beautiful to somebody.
No, I mean, this kid was. He looked like a freaking angel. He was just he was 3 years old. You know, he never did nothing to nobody. He didn't even have a chance.
He ain't been on the planet long enough to do anything.
Yeah, he couldn't. He don't know how to piss people off yet. You know, he was oh my goodness, and that gets no media attention anymore, and it got very little while it was happening.
Hey, Gear, did you hear that news out of Sweden?
Out of Sweden.
Yeah, a father stabbed 2 of his own kids and threw them off the 50-foot balcony.
I'm pretty sure he wasn't Swedish. It was probably
No.
an immigrant from the
immigrant. Yes.
Yeah, from Balkan or some bullshit. I mean, Sweden has taken in so many. Sweden has taken in so many of them, so there are areas in Sweden now where police have lost completely control. I mean, it's so much shit going on, and that's thanks to Palme. If you remember Olof Palme, who got shot, that liberal prime minister, some 30 years ago, he started that shit. They have areas in inner cities in Malmö, Gothenburg, Stockholm now, where the police doesn't even want to go to because it's so much trouble with immigrants with backgrounds from war-torn countries and stuff, and they didn't integrate them. They put them all in the same fucking neighborhoods, and it's like seriously big problem in Sweden with that liberal immigration policy they had there.
Yeah, they had a Cuban boat lift here way back in I think it was in the 80s, late 70s, early 80s. I think it was the 70s. They had all these kids come, and the majority of the kids that came, our family friend, she took in one kid. This kid ripped her off everything she had. He stole everything.
I mean, Sweden has been much worse with liberal immigration policy than Norway. But even Norway, the last 3-4 years, there are more stabbings and shootings in Oslo and whatever that I have ever read about before in my entire life, just the last 5, 6, 7 years. And it's all immigrant related. I mean, most of the murders, most of the stabbings, most of the shootings, everything is immigrant related.
Well, we got that downtown where the college kids like to go drink. I can remember forever. There was never any problems there. Now all of a sudden there is, you know, people jumping people, getting the shit kicked out of them.
All the gangs in Oslo, the B gang, the A gang. I mean, all of it is rooted in immigrants from the Balkans or from Morocco. I mean, from and all this bullshit. And there is no, you know,
Ask, ask, ask
for
Christian
Norwe-
about this. Ask Christian about.
I mean, for Norwegians who actually grew up in what was a really, 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 really safe country, and you get this escalation of knife and gun violence that we have now, and it's like 99% of the cases is all immigrant related. It kind of make people realize that, you know, nobody want to be racist or anything, but they are getting a bit fed up with immigration policy.
Yeah, I think
You know what? I
perception of Sweden and Norway as being one of the last civilized countries in the world, but I guess that changes, huh?
well, you know what? Oh my God, jeez. Anyway, man, you're showing very little respect or appreciation for living life the right way. And as soon as you're killed by a loser, all of a sudden they just stayed the execution of a guy the other day that murdered somebody. Now I don't know who I don't know if he murdered a drug dealer or he murdered somebody's somebody's husband or father or uncle. Just because it's been a while doesn't mean that should go away. I mean,
I saw that it was
If you're innocent, Tony, if
What's
you're
that?
not fucking innocent, they're not gonna fucking stay nothing. If they know you guilty, you're gonna get the fucking needle.
well,
But
there's a popularity. There was the
evidence, Tony, the evidence shows the man is innocent.
yeah. Well, DNA will. It did here, and then the guy went out and killed somebody anyway. After that,
But
Stephen
that's a
Avery.
new case. That's a new case.
You heard of Steve? No, Steve. Yeah, the Stephen Avery was an old one. That guy spent how many years in prison? He got out. He had all this cash, all this, and then him and his nephew, or he had his nephew take part in the rape and murder of a woman. Not too long after he got out, a few years.
How many people
Yeah,
we
but
seen
there is-
go to jail? Something they
I
didn't
don't
do.
think- if you look at the American court system and whatever, and you've been following it a bit, like probably you guys have done much more than me, obviously, but you look at it sometimes, and I think that there are a huge percentage of innocent people sitting in fucking jail in America, and I think there is a huge percentage of people which are sitting on death row, which is completely innocent as well. I mean, so you know, and for a fact, I think it has been proven that there are quite a lot of people who have been executed, which later has been exonerated due to new evidence of DNA or lack of good public prosecutors and public defense lawyers and shit like that. So
Bob Dylan did that song about a boxer, Hurricane, way back, and he was well known, and the cops knew him, but yet he got set up to take the rap on a murder. They railroaded him, and then it ruined his career and his whole life. I think he may have died a broken man. I only remember a little bit about it.
And I mean, I think that's why death sentence is obsolete. I don't think it should. I mean, I'm not really pro death sentence. Doesn't matter what you do, because I mean, in many ways, living in prison is a much harder verdict than actually being killed, and to avoid those people getting killed, which were innocent. I mean, I've been thinking about it a million times. There cannot be anything worse being thrown away into jail when you're 20, 30, 40 years old, get a life sentence or death sentence, and you know you're innocent. I mean, just that injustice would kill any fucking sane people to begin with. You know what I mean? And I don't know what the percentage are, but I can guess the way the American court system is operating and working. There is a lot of innocent people serving
Oh,
very,
yeah.
very, very long time and times in America.
Yep.
According to numbers, yeah, that estimated it's like 1% of all the U.S. prison population. 20,000 people are falsely accused just in the 80s. 850 was exonerated.
They get the
Yeah.
weed, drought and weed
Funny.
convictions.
Imagine how many fucking innocent people for overzealous fucking judges, redneck fucking judges, racist fucking lawyers, and all that other shit.
And think about how few people actually the innocent projects can actually dive into and help. I mean, the innocent projects are doing a great job, and you know, I guess for every 1,000
Hey,
applications, they can have the time to pick up one.
Mm-hmm.
oh,
They got a gang of shit. They just got a couple of brothers out. The dude just confessed, and the motherfucker still. If it wasn't for the innocent project getting them out, he'd still be there.
Yeah, but I mean, also, Ronald, a lot of people, you know, they get a shitty fucking public defense attorney, which is not even, you know, good enough to be a car washer,
yeah.
and that must be the big and I mean, what 95% of all shit in America goes to plea deals. So how many people are pleading guilty just because they know that if they even are innocent and they get convicted by a jury, they can get 40 years in jail versus pleading guilty and get 6 or 10. You know what I mean? So there is a lot of innocent people who actually are advised to plead.
Right. I don't give a fuck who it is. If somebody accused me of murder or whatever the fuck, I ain't getting no public defender. Period. Because you got a guy representing the state defending you against the state. The fuck is that all about? You know, he got a caseload up there, yin yang. He trying to get you off the books. So take the plea, man. And these idiots.
You know what? I don't understand that plea deal thing. What have you got to bargain with?
Yeah,
You
but
don't have any?
the problem
Yo,
is,
you bargain with.
the problem is, Tony, that if everybody in America, which was offered a plea deal, had said no, we want a court case. I mean, there is that, you know, people would have been sitting in for natural life before the court case would come up because the court system can't fucking handle it. So they even struggle handling the 5% of cases who actually goes to court.
I don't know about anybody else, but I know if I'm totally innocent and I'm getting screwed, man. I'm ranting and raving. They're gonna give me all the contempt of court shit they want to.
That's right.
I'll have a stroke to whoever listen to what I'm saying, but I'll never sit there quietly and let that shit. I mean, not that maybe they tell them different. I don't know, but I'm just speaking for me. Now I'm sitting down there, and they're going to accuse me of something falsely and want to put me in jail for 50 years. I'm kicking and screaming every minute of the day in that courtroom.
You ain't never lied.
I ain't never stopping, man. I don't, there's no, when you sit there and try to play it cool and you got some doofus representing you because you can't afford the big time guys, and this little fucking guy don't do nothing for you, and you're going to the big house. I'm even more pissed.
You mean both. And we know.
I told this guy at work, I said, this is how it should be. You should have you should have a curtain and not even see the guy. Now, don't know what his race is, don't know how old he is, don't know what his priors are, maybe his priors, but and you judge that case by the paper that you're looking at, the forms you're looking at in front of you, not the guy that's standing in front of you. Then you might get equal justice that way.
You might, but I doubt it. When they hit the deck and you get a jury trial and you got people, you're talking about a jury of your peers and ain't nobody on your jury black?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. Man.
They might as well had a fucking shipped in a whole bunch of fucking Russians or Canadians or whoever the
They
fuck.
don't want me
Yeah,
there.
that.
I'm
I mean, come
opinionated
on.
as hell.
And then, you know, they picking and choosing. The kid got to pick all his jurors.
You know, we had this guy at work, super nice guy. His dad was a cop, retired cop, and Chris and guy was always dressed immaculate, worked. He even made $100,000 a couple of times. That's all he did was work. But after something happened in his life that sent him off the deep end. He was arrested on the freeway, and he had all these drugs he was doing. Now I don't know whether he was working all that. Some guys say he was working all that time to fund the whoever they were buying this shit from. But I know the guy. I've known him since I started there. He started after me, but I never once saw anything the way this one guy was describing him. And that guy was quit. And another guy that was our union steward. He's going, oh, you don't know him. He bought this and that. He did this and that. I said, I'm talking about the guy I know. I don't know where you're getting your stuff from, but I know him. You know, from all the time I've been here, I've never seen him be in any other way except a good person. He was. Now he might have, but if you can't say that in front of his face while he's here, why are you talking shit about him after he leaves?
Well, another thing is make sure you. Sorry, Aaron.
Some people got double lives, Tony. They work together, tandem. They know how to do it.
My friend's mom died at Masterlock when I was in the factory. Nice looking woman that her husband used to beat the shit out of her, so she turned to women instead. And she had a brain tumor, and she died. And you'd never heard nobody saying nothing about her life, except after she died. My ex-wife says to me, "Oh, I heard she was a lesbian." I said, "What the fuck does that got to do with anything?" You know?
I mean, what I never understand is how they fill up American prisons, which is privatized. A lot of them is that if I am out driving and I pick up Tony and I pick up Ronald and I pick up Kiko, 4 of us, and you know, we are just driving down the road, and Tony says to me, "Oh, Gail, can you just stop by this store? I need to pop in and get something." And Tony pops in the store, and he fucking end up robbing it and killing somebody, and comes running out again. Then the 3 of us others are accessory to murder and can get the same. I mean, I never fucking understood that law whatsoever.
Right?
Well, they say that you're supposed to do something to stop it. But if you have a crazed individual, you ain't talking to him about nothing, you know. I mean,
well, you ain't in a position to stop shit. You sitting in the car, he comes running out here and shit with money in his hand.
In that scenario, but if you're all in the car, say on the other side of it, and you go, yeah, I'm gonna go in there and rob. If I have to shoot, I'll shoot. The other 3 guys go, okay, okay. But
yeah, but that's a different story. But it's so hard to, well,
sure.
I mean, he didn't say shit to us when he got out of the car. We don't know shit. He didn't say shit to me.
What's his name?
And then they use this other conspiracy theory laws as well. I mean, it's almost like I've seen cases lately where they use the racketeering law or whatever and say that, because you're speaking to somebody on the phone or whatever, you can be accessory to murder as well, because, you might have been I mean, I don't understand this shit they're fucking doing over there at the moment. It's
crazy. Talking about conspiracy by wire and all this.
You know what? A lot of them got away with it, but the latest one I know of, it was a professional football player that all his friends from his neighborhood were gangbangers, and they killed somebody while he was sitting in the car and knew what they were going to do. And he got off. He didn't get charged. So after he got away or got by that one, he looked at life a whole lot different.
Well, Hernandez went out there and shooting motherfuckers on purpose.
Yeah, Lord, I don't hate. I don't even dislike anybody. I'm not the. I'm not the type of person. I don't have the nerve to carry a sidearm with me. That's just not me. You know.
And can you imagine the worst scenario is that if you, for some godforsaken reason, should be a suspect, completely innocent suspect in some sort of a high profile case in a county where there is an election coming up for the prosecutor or mayor or something, I mean, then you are doomed.
You're screwed. You screwed. Big.
Yeah.
Well, we had a case like that here, Gare. One of my friends, we know her, you know, we go to our house and shit. We have drinks with her and go dancing and shit. This chick, the son was trafficking these young girls right here in Kitsap County. And around that time, they was prosecuting, you know, trafficking heavy. He took the first hit and made an example out of him, gave this motherfucker 35 years. 35 years.
I had a coworker, his brother. I knew his brother when we were little, went to school. He was involved with a couple higher ups in the police department and the fire department, and they were moving weed. You know, they're selling weed. The only reason they got caught was because they were in Utah, and his buddy's sister got pissed off. His friend pissed his sister off, and she ratted on him. So he didn't talk. He did 5 years for it. But he told me, because I know the guy's good for his word. I know where he comes from, you know, and he never ratted on any of those guys. I didn't ask him, but I would hope to think that they took care of him monetarily after he got out.
Something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But fuck that. I'm a snitch. I ain't going down for none of your bull. None. Call me a snitch all you want.
You know that this football player was in the car around all these bad people, and he couldn't say, well, I thought we were just going to have some ribs tonight. You know, I didn't know they were going to kill this guy, but he got over, and he's changed his ways. So it shows. You know, he's on some programs, and he doesn't he doesn't talk about it, but he just knows that he dodged a huge bullet. So
is he white?
It changed him, you know.
Is he white?
No.
He got lucky for sure.
Yeah, well, no, yeah, he got lucky, all right. But he saw, even though he wasn't like that, he was still. It was an example of still hanging out with all the buds from the hood way back, you know. And
you're making good money.
Yeah, he got a break, and he used it. You know, I mean, he appreciated it, and
see, Tony, that's when an idiot from the hood, poor black motherfucker, he make it good, and then he try to still keep it real by hanging with the thugs. You dumb fuck.
Yeah. That's what he was doing in his younger years.
Hi, Michael.
Hey,
what's up, Michael?
There's a spot we were just talking about that dude that from the Raiders that killed that
idiot.
I mean,
22.
His life is over, man.
He ain't got no life now.
You know,
22 years
all that
old.
money he ever made, and his whole life. You know, it's 22
His whole
years.
freaking life.
You know,
157 miles an hour.
Is it worth it to drive drunk like that in a sports car? Now the answer to that is no. I mean,
no. And it ain't never worth doing shit besides driving that car and doing what you do. Don't be texting. If you got hands free, answer the phone with the hands free shit.
Hey, my son.
And by the way, I never understood anyway. I mean, if you are that young and wealthy, and if you have to go out and party, I mean, if you can't afford a Grab or a Lyft or a Uber or a private fucking chauffeur for that night, you don't deserve anything better, because then you are just plain
Nope.
out stupid.
Hey, you know what?
Plain stupid.
Patrick Mahomes from the Chiefs has this barber fly. He flies him out every week to trim his hair.
A barber.
The barber, well, he got a couple $1 billion. Yeah, he has a barber. He has a barber come to where he's living from, wherever.
Mahomes not a billionaire.
Yeah, he's more like almost a billionaire, almost. And that is.
Ain't nowhere near that shit.
But the thing is, he likes the way this guy does it, so he flies
Listen,
him out.
Tony, I have a friend of mine, same age as me. He's a hairdresser. Yeah, for the last 15 years, almost 20 years, he never had a salon or anything. He makes about 400,000-500,000 quid a year. The only thing he does is that when the Arabs are coming to London, they like to come to London for 2-3 months, a couple of times a year, to hang around Mayfair, West End, in their apartments, do shopping and all that shit, you know. And he got in with some of them, yeah, and they pay him an extraordinary amount of money just to hang around the hotel in case one of the girls or whatever needs to have the hair fixed. If one of the guys want to have their beer, and most of the time it does jack shit. He's just there on hand and makes a fucking shitloads of money.
That Saudi money is good shit.
Yeah, it's good shit. That's Saudi money. I mean,
I put that shit on everything.
I remember about 12 years ago, he gets to my flat and he showed me a brand new gold Rolex with diamonds in the face of the watch. It was specially made, 10 of them, at Rolex in Switzerland. And one of the bodyguards of the sheikh that he's cutting the hair from had got it, but he get as a Christmas present, and they get so much shit, so he gave it to my friend. Just just gave it because he said, "Well, I can't. What can I do with all these fucking watches and everything I get?" And he got this Rolex, probably worth about 80,000-90,000.
What?
Hey, Tony, I got a haircut in the Philippines one time. The guy came to the house, 25 pesos.
Oh, yeah? Oh, you know what?
50 cents.
They're all the way up to 50 now.
I gave him 100 pesos, right?
Yeah.
And my wife was, that's too much. I said, what? He came to the house, you know?
He got to pay his travel expenses.
I gave this guy, I was on one of those pedicabs, that the bicyclist that can hold 2 people. And I took that from the fish market. And the ride on those things was 5 peso a piece. No, I think it was 5, yeah. And the regular one was 8. Now it's 10. And he broke his sprocket. His pedal snapped right off that cast zinc, I think it was. And I gave the guy the ride cost for both of us 10 peso. I only gave him a 20, and the guy looked at it like I gave him $1,000. He was excited, and I thought, Jesus, because those guys in those pedicabs, they work their ass off.
Oh yeah, they sweat too. I mean, that's
man, I look at that. I look at them, but you know what though? I don't hang around everybody every single minute of the day. But when I look at them and I watch them do it, they know what they got to do. They don't complain outwardly. They just they paddle on,
What was you saying, Kiko?
No, I wasn't saying anything. I said that's hard work. They sweat,
Yeah.
And all they do is pedal people around. But like you said, you don't see anybody complaining about their job.
No, nobody.
I see a guy. One of the guys I had was an older man, in his 60s or 70s, and I'm like, Jesus, But you greet them, you thank them, salam alaikum, respect your elders, and they appreciate it,
It's just about everywhere you hear of, the guy leaves the home or the mother leaves the home to go to Manila or Cebu
Ah.
to work, you know,
One
and the family stays back in the province while the breadwinner goes out and earns.
one of my sister-in-law's boyfriend, they had arguments. And they got a little kid. Their kid's like 2 years old, 2 or 3. And he just left. He just took off. And I thought, what the hell? Who could do that? Who could do that to a kid like that? You know? If I was next to him, I would cuss him up something fierce. That's baloney. You know what I mean? Life ain't all, you know, the sex and happiness. I mean, you got a lot more to life than that. You got the whole family thing, you know, with the eating and the working and the car and whatever. You know, that all takes a back seat to the things you need to get by.
Yeah,
But
and I feel bad for these women. You know, they have 2, 3, 4 kids, and then, you know, like you said, the man's gone, but they're legally married, so they can never, even if they meet a foreigner, they can't ever legally get married there. You know.
Nope.
You can do annulment, can't you? But that is
Yeah.
expensive.
Oh, it takes years.
It takes a lot of money and a lot of years. But my wife had a neighbor over there, that single house that we built, and she had 6 kids, I think. The guy took off and left her with absolutely nothing. And my wife gave her a little money. You know, because she said this lady she was in the street walking around, not knowing what the hell was going to happen the next day. And I don't think they have the programs we have. Maybe you know more about that than I do, Kiko. But it oh Lord, that is
I told you that story before. There's my wife, distant cousins, maybe not close, you know, relations, but their father got hit by lightning, killed. Right? There's like 7 kids, and the 2 older girls, they were both like top in their high school. They were working as maids because they didn't have money to go to school. I put 2 of them through college. They're teachers now. But I told them,
you're the guardian angel.
I want you to promise me 2 things: that you'll do your best. Okay, that's all that can be asked of you. And second is to take care of your mother and your siblings once you get your degree and get a job. You know, and they're helping them out. So.
Yeah, I never minded helping anybody out, but I have my own children. I have grandchildren. You know what? If they wanted, one of my sister-in-law said, "Oh, we don't know what we're gonna do." Well, you didn't think about that when you laid down with this guy. Now he leaves. I said, whether you like it or not, you're gonna have to do the OFW thing.
Well, you know,
because I haven't gotten started with what I got to do for my family first.
Yeah, in this case, Tony, they didn't ask, you know, and their father was killed by lightning, so it wasn't like, you know, I mean, it was just a bad circumstance, and they did not ask. But when I told them go down tomorrow and take the exam to get into college, they looked at me like, you know, are you smoking something, you know?
Yeah.
And I said, no, both of you, you know, because at first I was just going to do it for the one, but then I said, well, who's that sitting behind her? Oh, that's her sister. She was number 1 in high school class too. So I said, have both of them go down tomorrow. It was like $10 to take the entrance exam. I said, I'll Zoom the money tonight. Tomorrow, go down and take the test. And they did. Of course, they did well. And when I told them I'd pay for their college, they were like, you know, it's like someone telling you just hit Powerball. You know, you're like, yeah, right.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
But they did, and they went through college and they got their degree. So
that's great. Well. I got one brother-in-law like that. The rest of them, I don't know. Matter of fact, the second time I was there, I got everybody something except the youngest one, and my wife said that her mama said he bought something for everybody else. How come he didn't get Roland something? I said, because he doesn't help his mother. That's why. All the other ones did. I'm not rewarding you when you don't do shit for your mother. You show some respect to your mother and help your parents out.
Hang on, I got incoming.
Put that pimp phone on tonight. But anyway, I think the cost for that PNP was I think it was $200 every quarter, maybe something like that. And I don't know why, but I got a soft spot for him. I don't know why, but the rest of them, not at all.
Yeah.
Besides,
The only way my wife could go to college was she had an aunt that married an American who was, sent her money, and she was able to go to college because of that.
I keep trying to tell mine. I said, I'm taking care of mine first. And I can't take care of mine first until I can't get to you or any of your siblings until I got what my family gets. I don't have as much time on this earth as they do. So, I have to get things done. And I'm not going to get them done. I don't live like them. I don't live on credit. They can't help it, but the only two things I ever had on credit were my car and my house. That's it. I try to teach that to my wife, I said, we got this chunk of land and it was the best thing ever until all of a sudden you were trying to make some money for your mom. She thinks I don't know, but I do. And I said, it's 545 square meters. I said, everybody else can build on there if they want after we do our thing. So there's space on there. There's space on there to have a water store or any other, grow some vegetables or papayas or whatever, grow your own vegetables, whatever the thing is. But the idea behind me buying that land was so that that I don't have to worry, I'll have less worry after I leave this earth than I did
And
before.
they have the opportunity to do something if they
Yes,
look at it. If they
opportunity is see, that's the problem here. People confuse opportunity with entitlement. All you can really do as a human being is to provide the opportunity. If someone chooses not to take it, then they get what they get. Oh, get Michael. Michael says, I have no debt. Yeah, neither do I anymore. Well, still got the house here, but my son's going to live here. So,
Hello, Michael.
yeah, Michael, you've been pretty busy. Michael's quite the YouTube channel now. He's moving up the charts with a bullet,
I got a shitload of debt, and I'm gonna leave it right where I got it, right the fuck here on earth. I don't give a fuck.
You got a shitload of dick.
Debt.
Oh, debt. My hearing ain't that good, man. I'm sorry.
I got a shitload of debt, and guess where it's staying? Right here on planet Earth. I ain't taking it with me because I can't take the money with me either. Fuck it.
Well, let Uncle Sam handle that.
I don't care who handles it. I don't have to worry about it.
Uncle Sam knows how to. Uncle Sam knows how to piss out the second floor window.
Right. When it comes to black people in debt, they owe us so much shit. We shouldn't be in debt.
You can't get what you don't have.
Right. I ain't get what I'm due either. That's why I don't give a fuck about no debt.
When I have money, I'll pay you. But no, that's not acceptable. Well, it is. It is because I don't have it, and if I don't have it, you don't get it.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting on reparations.
Don't people confuse that with getting something for nothing and your money for nothing, your chicks for free? But those that put forth the effort in life and continue to push, even if they got to do it twice as hard or 3 times as hard as somebody else, then they're a better person for it. Once when they get it.
I don't think so. I mean, because we still got at least 5 or 6 people that straight up descendants from slavery that didn't get a dime for their work, and now they saying, well, we wasn't there back then. But I mean, you still reaping the benefits of all of that. So where did the benefits go to the other people that still, survived through all of that? The family members, they ain't getting jack. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
they say, well, we wasn't there and it wasn't us, but you still reaping the benefits from it. So if you
Well,
take, like, you know, just like being an accessory to a crime, if you was there, you part of it, you
mm,
know?
mm.
Shit.
But
Yeah, somebody,
Linda is better than Jack, you know.
somebody said the other day that if it's us, it's a criminal, and if you're a politician, it's politics.
Right. But as long as you benefiting from it, you benefit.
Yeah, yeah.
I
What?
wasn't there, but
Ronald, in all fairness, what
what
forfeit?
fairness? What? Oh, don't even talk about fairness.
Hello, young man. I'm just trying to say something. Can you imagine that, if everybody in England in today's generation, like my kids, are going to pay restitution for what the English Empire did around the world to every other fucker around Africa and Burma and everywhere in the Far East where the Empire was raping and pillaging, or the French or the Spanish colonists did, then, there will be 4 countries which will pay for the rest of the world.
No, that's a different scenario, Gare. We talking
Right.
about employment when you ain't getting paid. We talking about something completely different.
Okay, I was at the toilet, so I got late into the discussion. Sorry.
I'm talking about 400 or 500 years of free labor, and nobody got paid for it, but the country grew and grew and grew on that fucking labor.
Yeah, but the same as England and Spain and Portugal and France did, which colonized the whole world.
Right, but they wasn't enslaving anybody. I mean, they was robbing and pillaging.
My great grandfather came here because he didn't like too much to share and or giving a big chunk of his money away to the fascists.
I would do
And
that.
so he came here and he went back. He thought, well, this sucks. I'll go back. Well, that sucked even more. So then he came back for the second time permanently. But I
Right.
told a friend of mine. I told a
And then they
friend of
turn
mine.
around and they willingly giving it to the Pope. What
I
the
told a
fuck?
friend of mine, my grandfather, believe it or not, during his communion, the Pope took it, and
Yeah, right. And
and the Pope went to sprinkle that water out of the chalice, and the thing slipped and cut my grandfather's head open.
And he ain't got paid either.
But
Nope.
this is it. Listen to this. I have a friend here. I haven't seen him in years. He's of Spanish descent, Mexican, And he was sitting there at my house one time. We had this party going on. I don't know what the discussion was, but he said, you don't know what it's like to be Mexican. And most of my childhood was in the Spanish neighborhood. And I said, what's the worst thing that ever happened to you? Somebody called you a name, right? He said, yeah. I said, well, my grandfather and his brother didn't know any English, and they got a pointing stick upside the head and across their hands because they didn't know English. That's what they got. So if you wanted to talk about how bad it is or how hard it is, then there's something that was even worse than what he had. He, even though he didn't have all his rights and was looked down on, he still had a hell of a lot more than my grandfather and his brother put up with.
And sticks and stones.
I mean, everybody throughout time. That's why we're all here, because where we came from, primarily where our ancestors came from, sucked. So we end up here.
Well, we never left.
Yeah.
I'm here because I'm here. I
Yeah.
never came.
Well, I used to tell my dad I was quite disappointed when my mother told me she used to be engaged to Johnny Unitas, and I thought, man, I could have had a football a player for a dad instead of this one.
What?
And
He
he broke my heart when he said, well, you wouldn't be if it weren't for me and your mom. So
He was from Western Pennsylvania, I believe.
they moved.
Yep.
A big stopping off point was for my grandfather, my great grandfather, and my grandfather and uncle was that town I told you about 28 miles south of Pittsburgh.
Said Smithton or something like that.
Smithen? Smithton or Smithin, something like that. But all of them stayed. I mean, my great grandparents bought a farm in Ohio. My great uncle worked to pay the back taxes off on there. They ate cheese and drank wine and lived into their 80s, well into their 80s. And my great uncle did not get married and have children until he was 42 years old because he couldn't afford it because he was paying off the farm. And my grandfather not wanting to be involved probably in having to help anybody came up here.
As far as we know, Johnny Unitas could have been an asshole to her.
And you know what? Don't matter, man. I mean, at that point in time, I think anybody was better to me than what I had.
Right, but for her, he might have been an asshole.
Oh, he could have been. My dad wasn't a saint. He was a prick.
I'm talking about Johnny Unitas.
Hey,
Yeah,
Ronald.
I missed that. Only wish.
Ronald.
He could have been an asshole.
He could have been.
Ronald.
I'll
What
be
do you say,
back. I
Kiko?
need to go to the kitchen.
I said my oldest half sister, she went to high school with Joe Namath, right? So I think Joe wanted to take her out, but he came up to the house. Back then, they came up to the house and asked, hey, can I take your daughter out? And my dad said, And later on, my next, my older brother, but her younger brother said, why'd you do that? He said, I don't like the family.
Man,
So, yeah.
there's always a reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all failed to understand that we're not the only boys with raging hormones. That probably our fathers had them too. So they knew, or the girl's father knew what we were primarily thinking about.
Right.
Second.
Right,
So,
but
We've been there and done that.
yeah.
right. If his dad knows, if Kiko dad know that this family ain't the one to be fucking with, then he ain't gonna allow my daughter nowhere near the family.
Yeah, it ain't happening.
No. I mean, I don't give a fuck who you are in the future. Right now, you're the worst family my people need to be with. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Gotta go, but you gotta go.
Right. I mean, hell,
There's no but.
there's no future in the future until there's future.
Yeah, you're a real tongue twister.
There is many buts out there.
Yeah, I got a whole bunch of them, like 90. What is it? 5.3 billion on the butts on the planet.
But
I wonder why Michael ain't come up.
he's a busy man. I guess he's on the
Busy
thing
shit.
above us.
What is it? 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, it's
That's
almost
okay.
evening time for Michael.
Almost evening.
I got to do new DNA.
No,
relatives.
I mean, in the way he stays up all night,
Oh yeah. He's almost midnight.
It's like
Yeah.
who's that guy from Wisconsin? Tom Schneider had the first late talk show, I think. Late? Was that late with Tom Schneider?
Hey,
Yeah.
look who's come in, Tony.
Who?
Somebody.
Nobody. No way.
Way.
No way.
it's Juliet Bravo.
Oh my
Way.
God. This can't be. It's too hard to. Oh,
What's up, JB?
somebody must be using her computer for her. It can't be her.
Good morning. Time
It's
to go out
6
for the
o'clock in the
run.
morning for JB.
That can't be. I'm telling you.
Time to go out for that run, right? Jogging.
Oh yeah, you gotta go out and hurl, and then you'll gain speed.
All right, Christian, put on some deodorant.
I
Tell
broke,
her to take that electric razor out too.
Put that
I
silk
broke my
shirt on.
thumb. I smashed the up.
Come on up, JB. We miss your face.
No, she'll keep the avatar on there.
Jonah, Jonah ain't up there. I need to flip that one. That's Moss.
Uh-oh.
Didn't Gareth say he's going to a mystery country?
No, the restroom.
Hmm?
Going to what?
Oh yeah, Gareth said he's going to something. He ain't telling nobody. It's secret.
A mystery country?
Yeah.
He think
Well,
he's
you know
on the
what?
Cypress.
You know
That's
what?
where it's going.
You know what? It seemed like
He's obviously
Right.
going to Cyprus.
he took a
Right?
Cyprus.
You know what I'm saying?
he took a flight, a 50-minute flight, and it sounded like he trekked halfway around the world to get there.
Hey, but if you was under the oppression of the fucking Irish people, you'd go anywhere.
Yeah, I did. I'd have been drinking at home. I'd have been an alcoholic. by
JB
now.
say I can't today, bro. Ronald, getting ready for Spartan race.
I broke me thumb. Hey, what do you sound like you're British. I broke me thumb.
I broke me thumb.
Okay, JB. I feel you. I feel you, JB. I'm right with you.
Yeah, I broke me thumb. See, I smashed the up.
No, she gave you a thumbs up.
Man, I don't know, man. I don't know how you.
It's okay, JB. I have something else you can play with instead of your
Ah,
thumb.
Oh, snap.
it'll make that thumb feel good.
Oh, snap. He's bringing out the talong.
Uh-oh.
Time to get some gulai.
She said she can't because Bro Ronald. Oh, she's even calling you bro too.
She always call me bro.
She's from the hood.
I've never heard her say that. She's got the Spartan race.
Should be called Aunt Edith.
She's gonna be reeking of
Well, at least you didn't call me Edith Pussy.
yeah.
Ronald, who was that on Fred Sampson? His was that his sister or sister-in-law? What was her name? Was it Aunt Edith or Aunt Esther?
Esther.
And Esther.
Aunt Esther.
Esther.
Yeah.
Yeah, fish eye fool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, she was good in that role.
She was a
man.
great character, man.
She was, yeah. She was a great opposite of Sam. Fred.
Well, they friends for life. They was buddy. They just acted it off like that. And you know what Fred told me one day, Tony? He say, Esther, I can take your face, put it in some dough, and make gorilla cookies. Right.
He actually died on the set. Everybody thought he was funning around.
Mm.
No,
He had a heart
did?
attack and died.
No,
Yeah, he died on the set.
I didn't know that.
I don't know if they were filming. They may have not been, but he was doing that. He always did that. Edith, I'm coming.
Yeah, this is the big one.
Yep. And he actually had one. And nobody paid attention at first because they thought he was acting. But when he didn't move, then they got the idea.
2 hours later.
Can't today.
Yeah, he was a young man too, only fucking 68 years old.
Yeah.
He
Well,
looked
was
older,
funny.
didn't he?
He was funny in Harlem Nights.
Oh yeah, but he played with those thick ass glasses
Big
on.
glasses. And what's her name? Who's the lady that turned preacher? Della Reese.
Della Reese.
Yeah, she said, Benny, I tell you to kiss my ass, you blind motherfucker, but you probably couldn't even see it.
I never saw him in anything other than Sanford and Son.
Oh, you got to see him in the Harlem Nights.
Yeah, that's a cast of comedians. Who
A
was
bunch of good actors. All the best blacks at the time.
Richard
most of them.
Pryor.
Yeah, Richard Pryor.
That boxer. I'm gonna knock somebody the fuck out. You know what I'm saying? I do now.
Tony.
He goes, get them kids out of here. They bad luck. Get the kids out of here.
Red Fox, Richard Pryor, Eddie Murphy.
Yeah. He got shot square between the eyes, man, and quick there. Eddie Murphy said, I guess you did have bad luck with kids.
What that white boy say? Called his wife. Look here, honey. I'm never coming home. He got some black coochie. He said he ain't never coming home.
Yeah. Ooh, quick. He shot that toe, man. Della Reese's toe.
Yeah, he shot me in my pinky toe.
Yeah. Wait, and she looked. She did a mean. She looked real mean. She was extremely mean in that one, though. The way she
Yes.
acted, man. I would have scared. That would have scared me too.
Well, you know, remember she had that accident when she ran into the plate glass in her home?
I did not. No.
Yeah, you know, nowadays they put, you know, little stickers on the window on the plate glass so you can see it. She ran right through the motherfucker, got cut up something fierce.
It ain't funny if you're the one that did it, but my ex-father-in-law, his brother-in-law was over at his house down in Florida, and Don had the patio door closed, and Cy walked right into that sucker.
Mm.
And I was laughing my ass off because it wasn't funny. I go, well, you know, kind of, you know, but my cousin Mark, we same age. He did it in a bar where he came out the bathroom and he saw what he thought was his friends, so he took a right when he's supposed to take a left, and he walked right into the mirror of the wall.
Doofus. Yeah, but that back then that wasn't.
I said,
Ronald,
did
Ronald.
anybody see you?
Yeah.
I'm just going to ask you a question. Don't tell me anything about it because I haven't seen it yet. But have you seen that new movie out now with it's called Red Notice?
Yes, I saw it. I ain't gonna say shit.
Okay. Was it? You can say I'll ask another question and then you can answer that. Was it good?
Thumbs up.
Okay, cool. Then I'm gonna watch that.
I ain't gonna say nothing else.
What was it called?
Red Notice.
Red Notice.
Jonah watched it the other day.
It's with Dwayne Johnson and Ryan Reynolds.
Oh, that'll be good.
Yeah, it's. I can give you this much more. It's not what you think. It's like a comedy.
Okay.
Romance comedy.
Not romance. Just a comedy drama. So I could call it Dramedy.
Dramedy.
There you go.
I saw also. I mean, Ronald, have you seen the series called Startup?
No, I started to watch it.
It's
then,
really. I mean, you have to. I mean, it's really fucking good. And I see that season 3 is just out now as well. So that's another few hours to kill. Startup is really good. Really good actors in it as well.
Right. But yeah, have you seen? I think I told Tony to check it out too. What's the name of it, Tony? The Harder They Fall.
Harder They Fall.
Yeah, it's a black cowboy movie.
Oh, I heard. I haven't seen it yet, but I have marked it that I'm gonna watch it.
How new is that, or is it new at all?
About 2 weeks old.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, there is also. I don't know why that is, but I can see now that's fucking good. I mean, he ended up in jail, so I don't know what season 2 is about. But the new series of Tiger King is out as well. There is a new season of Tiger King.
Tiger King?
Yeah.
I haven't seen any of that. I thought it was Tiger King.
Oh, did you see the first season of it? It's about those guys who run. It's like a docu series. So the guys who run these zoos around America and stuff, and he got. I mean, that was one of the most watched series in England 2 years ago, and now season 2 is out.
I never even checked that one. Hold on.
You have to watch that. That's like a douche thing. I mean, it's all real shit as well. It's from these guys who were running this big zoo parks in America, and all the infighting and you have to watch it. It's fucking brilliant.
Roger that.
But
I
you
will
have to you have to watch season 1 first, and when you start to watch it, you probably recognize, because he has been a lot in the mainstream media and stuff.
Oh, what was that?
Huh?
I heard something pop.
No, it wasn't me.
That was just my pants.
Too many Coca-Cola. I'm a baby. Boy, my phone is full of fucking pictures of Jonah. It's unreal.
Don't you know what she looks like in all angles, with or without, by now?
Yeah, you know it, brother.
Okay, okay, Gear. What's for dinner, Gear?
Oh man, I'm just having a sandwich, to be honest with you. I'll tell you what it is. It is a it's a handmade from the deli, a ham, Swiss cheese, pickle, mayo, and spinach on brown bread.
Oh, snap.
Mm.
Yeah, I got pictures you shouldn't even see.
Sorry?
I got pictures you can't see.
I know. Fucker.
It's a revolution.
It'll be private in a half hour. You can show.
I ain't showing my girls nothing.
Oh,
You got your own girl. You show me yours, I show you mine.
Ronald.
you first.
Ronald, what happened about this sharing is caring bullshit?
Yeah, somebody will end up showing a picture somebody's not even belonged to them.
Say what, yeah? Yeah.
Look,
What happened to what?
Guys, where's Gary and Baconator these days? Now they gone dark like I did for a couple of weeks as well? Or?
Gary went dark. I don't know. I thought Gary was out and about traveling somewhere to his brother in Texas. I ain't heard from him in days.
Yeah, he's on the way to Texas. What about the Baconator? I haven't seen him for a long time.
Baconator, he showed up a couple times at Simon's place on Tuesday, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, it's I only got one message from him. Apparently he said he's had a lot of work to do. Who knows? I don't know.
I was doing something and I just saw the PM's live streams on Tuesday and Thursday. I see that RC has come out of the freezer again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Out of the freezer. Oh, he's pounding the drinks down again?
Well, no, he was on hiatus for a couple of hours because he overdid it like I did.
Out of the cold.
Yeah, so he had to drink plenty of water to get his shit back in order. I don't blame him.
Well, he knows the drill now.
He knew the drill. He's a drill sergeant.
I ain't calling anybody any you know what I mean. But Ronald, you out of anybody I've ever known in my life that could just turn it on and turn it off. And even when you're on it, you're not an asshole.
I know how I've been handling this shit all my rest of my adult.
But I have never, honest to God, I've never ever said that to anyone in my life.
Well, you met a real alcoholic. I was predisposed as a child, so I came up the hard way.
That says a lot for your character.
Thank you, my brother. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Well, it's the truth, so you're welcome.
And I appreciate you.
And I tell anybody I know anywhere I am when we're acting like a dick, I go, I only know this one guy, man. The rest of them, they're slobbering all over the fucking table, ready to fall down.
We ain't talking about the prime minister, are we?
Nah, no, well, no, that's your garden variety. I can't handle the 3.2 beer, but I just know. I'm just stating a fact. I don't know what anyone else is, and well, I have no interest in what they're like, so
It's all gravy.
I'm not gonna attack anybody's character or lack of today. 'Cause,
Yeah, it's not your day.
yeah, it's just it brings you down too much,
Hey, I don't hate nobody. I don't have a fucking fiber in my body that hates anybody. I hate things. I don't hate humans. I can
Well,
never hate a human. I don't care what it is, what he done or whatever. I can't hate a human.
I
I just
I would
that ain't
I
me.
would I would say that you are correct in that because I have witnessed it.
I don't hate nobody. I can't. I don't know how. I
Where
don't have time. Don't have the energy to waste on hate.
Yeah, you know what, man? You do. Anybody that has any type of brain gets tired of trying to correct that. You know what I mean? Or trying to see somebody, trying to make somebody else see the way they should. The way they see you should be. And
Right?
I don't anymore. You are what you are, and you either like you or you don't like you. It's very simple: up or down, left or right. There's no in between.
There's people worth your time and people not worth your time.
Well, there are, and it doesn't mean that your time is the most valuable out here, but you tend to get your point across without cussing somebody out to get it across or swearing your ass off.
That ain't my nature. It
Yeah.
ain't. I mean, you can't sidestep your nature.
Mm.
Never.
Nah, you know what? There's a valuable lesson in all that. How somebody can handle life the way they do, on and off, with what they do, and you know what I mean. I told many people, and I'm not saying that just because you're here or you're Alan Kilroy, but I forgot. There goes my mind. Golly, I forgot. Shit, I forgot. Oh, I got it. You're the only one I've ever known where you could have a difference and throw a couple cuss words in there, and then you come back the following day. And I've said this many times, but I just feel like I have to say it again. And you do not rehash yesterday. You don't stoke that fire to get it going again.
Tony, whoever invented the word pass was a genius. Because that's what I don't deal with.
A genius.
I don't deal with the past.
Yeah, I don't. You know what? I was talking to this guy at work. Unbeknownst to me, he was dying, and his name was Art. He had some family down in Memphis because I was talking about how I was down there, but I didn't get to go to the blues club. And he said, "Well, I got a brother live down there. If you want to go, let me know." And I thought to myself, "What is he down here? He was upstairs making a ton of money." And I was talking to him. And I said, I really hate. And then I thought about it. I said, that's a pretty strong word. I don't really hate. You know. Um,
Right?
and
Indeed.
the dude, the guy never complained. He looked like Richard Pryor a little bit. The guy never. He was a good person. He never had a bad word about anyone. And I didn't know it, but he was dying. So I don't know what was wrong with him. I never found out. But Art was a good guy. See, he made that much of an impression on me because I can still think of him today when it's been 30 years, since the last time I saw him.
Right?
And that don't happen too many times. You know, them people that are like that rubs off on you.
I say like Michael does. Michael McFarlane says, you know, he don't hate anybody, but he can dislike people, and I agree. And I do that very simple. You know, it's very easy. I don't hate anybody, but if I dislike somebody, I just choose to spend more time with them or give them more of my time.
It is a lot, a whole lot that most people can't even do to be able to think the way you're thinking right now, Gary. Lots of folks, including myself, man. I mean, I've gotten better at it, but I mean, I've witnessed you having differences a couple times, and you weren't out to one up nobody. You were just making your point that whatever was going on was ridiculous, and without blowing up. And I thought, holy shit, man! You know,
Well, I just kind of get by sometimes when I get, like you said earlier, that, you know, if you try to explain to a person that 95, 1 meter is 100 centimeters, not 95, and they're still, you know, gonna say it's 95. Basically, when people talk shit about people, they don't, you
even
know, that you know 100% correct, and they still argue with you. And then, you know, and then I realized to myself, why the fuck do I even bother? And that's why I just go in. I just keep my mouth shut now, and I think, oh, you sad,
Yeah.
fucker.
You know what the icing on the cake is that person, even though you show them what is wrong with the way they're doing or thinking something, they still refuse, literally refuse to see the light.
Right,
Hello,
brother
Alan.
Tony. Brother, go ahead, Christian.
I just said hello to Alan.
Oh, okay. And you know what, Tony? This is my philosophy. I've been on the planet long enough to learn this shit. So I'm gonna
Sure
give it to
have.
y'all now. No matter if you hate them or you dislike a person, don't even dislike them, because dislike is a negative word that takes your energy. Don't put anything into it at all. You just see them as a person and just move on. Don't dislike them. Don't hate them. Just move on and don't deal with them, because when you say the word dislike, your gut tightens up just like the word hate.
You remember all the bad shit, don't know?
Trust me. If you dislike somebody, your fucking diaphragm is going to tighten up. That takes energy. Now you done invested energy into something you shouldn't even waste on. So don't even put them in the context of dislike or hate, because it's
Maybe
going
it's
to
the
take.
wrong word to use then. I mean, I rather, you know, if I don't respect
Even the
people,
word don't.
I just
Even
get,
the word don't. You know what I'm saying? I mean, stuff that physically affects you. You shouldn't invest in people you don't want to deal with.
no, that's what
Don't
I'm
say,
saying. So, you know, I choose the ones I want to hang on with, and you know, if I lose some, it's their loss, not mine. You know what I mean? And you know,
right. But when you say, ooh, I don't like him, you give up energy when you say I don't. You know what I mean? That's why I'm getting deep when it shit's like this. If you can stay on the even kill and don't even put I don't in your vocabulary toward a person,
Well,
just don't deal with
I hate when
it.
somebody says I can't.
That's the same negative word too. Anything that tightens up your diaphragm, that takes energy. You know
the
what I mean?
hate goes deep, and that can be with people for a long time, and
Yes, sir.
it can nag and can eat you inside out. I mean, when I say if I dislike somebody, I mean that's over and done in 2 seconds. I don't even flinch my eye or get a problem with my life with that.
Well, you used to saying it, but you don't recognize the fact that it tightens up your diaphragm, which takes.
What I don't care for is when somebody is under a different condition, and just because they feel free to try to put that person down with swearing at them. I can't stand that when somebody is just stating a fact, and then the other person starts f-bombing the shit. I mean, I don't give a shit. You're right or wrong. You're fucking out of order if you tell that person that never engaged in any hostile conversation, but is merely pointing out something that's been said over and over and over, and then you in turn say "fuck you." You know, I mean, that's I don't give a shit who that is, man. You know, we're all old enough to know.
Yeah, put it
Right.
this way. I mean, a person which in one state is completely, nice to speak to, you might have disagreements with or whatever, but if they are in a different state of mind due to, alcohol or whatever, all of a sudden turn 190%, then I can't deal with people which is unpredictable. I like predictable people.
I have not agreed with everything every person on here's ever said, but I never say hatefully "fuck you." You know, you're a fucking idiot. I haven't done that to anybody that didn't have it come. I would never do it. I haven't done it when I had a difference of opinion or philosophy about something with a few people here. Never, because
Right. But the aspect of it is, Tony, as a human being, please, everybody that can hear me, do not waste any positive energy on any of it, because it's going to affect you, and then that's going to make you sour. So don't put any positive energy to anything negative, period, and you'll be fine.
I have always and forever will say something to somebody that's trying to that's talking mistruths, not something that isn't true, and they're doing it for no apparent reason. I don't like that. What I consider friends is a little bit different than some folks, but I don't give a shit who it is. If I have somebody if we were all out at a bar and somebody come up to you, a Ronald or Gira or a Viking or Kiko, and said, "Hey, you're a fucking idiot, man. You're a fucking asshole," I'm not going to take that. I can't because that's how much I value good friendships and acquaintances.
But
And,
Tony, you should understand the other person's point of view. If that person's point of view is that person is an a-hole, then that's their point of view. You shouldn't expect.
That's there, but coming out of it, coming out of left field, out of nowhere.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's not your position on the planet to pick and choose what.
Dude, I can't help but speak up for someone like that. I can't.
No, you can't, Tony. It takes all kinds to run the world, and you don't invest anything in that person. You just can't, because anything you invest in, it's going to be negative toward that person because you don't like what they said. Don't put nothing in it, and you'll be fine. Unless you kill somebody, then you can take it.
Yeah.
Necessary action.
Yeah.
Other than that,
I live by the choice that if somebody comes to me and say, "Gear, you are an idiot," and I say, "Okay," and I will say, "Why?" And if they could give me a reasonable explanation because why they think I are an idiot, then I will have to respect it and I just move on.
Right.
You said that before. Somebody comes up to me and say, "Gear, you're an idiot," and I say, "Why?" and they go, "Because you are." Then I just feel sorry for that person,
That's like a kid that can't think of any reason, but that just you are just because.
Right.
I mean, and people like that, I feel sorry for, and But I respect. I mean, if somebody seriously mean I'm an idiot or a fuck up or whatever, and actually can give me a reasonable explanation for why they think it, then that's fair enough.
Out of curiosity, I just want to know if.
But if you don't have a reason for it, I'll just call him exactly the same thing. You're an idiot because you don't have a reason to say it. So get out of my face.
Yeah, yes.
Exactly.
Go back to what you call it tomorrow. It'll be on TV. What's that shit with Big Bird? You know,
Sesame Street.
Sesame
Yeah,
Street. Yeah, yeah. Go watch the next episode of Sesame Street and have a good night. You know.
Learn how to
There
count.
there are people that try to goad you on, like they want
Yeah, right,
they
Kiko?
want you to get in the argument. They say, "Well, what's your opinion?" I say, "It doesn't matter what my opinion is. I know
No, don't.
that's
No.
all that matters."
What do you
See,
think?
that's
I
why,
don't.
Tony, while we spreading out praise, that's why I like Kiko. Even though we never met in person, we ain't really hang out. I can tell from the tone of his voice and his demeanor. The brother is so fucking level. It's stupid. Now, if
I
you
mean,
cross him,
I could have been friends with any of you my whole life.
Here's my buddy right here.
It's
right?
like
If you
like I
cross
know you.
Kiko, he'll leave you alone.
Can't do that one.
And that's it. He won't say nothing bad about you or nothing.
Some
You
people,
just leave it alone.
some folks, you just get a sense of. I better not act like a dick here, because I'm not sure how this is going to end up.
No, but I mean, it depends on the person. If your
Yeah.
personality is you're a dickhead and you just screw around with people,
Mm,
people can see through that and they know you're just a clown.
yeah. Well, my fault is I will not tolerate, nor have I ever, people talking shit about people that I hold in high regard.
Right. Only thing I will not tolerate from a human being is abuse to another human being. That's the only thing I will not tolerate.
Hey, look, I'm going to hit this guy just because he'll let me do it.
Then see, now that's abuse. I wouldn't tolerate that.
No.
Even though the dude taking it, that's the only thing that gets me. Abuse to another person.
Well, you know
That's
what?
it.
Sometimes people are feeling inferior. They have a complex, so they do what they do.
Yeah, Ronald. It's like you hear these people that stand around like a girl getting, or a woman or older person getting attacked on the subway. They're standing around filming it with their phones. Nobody doing a thing.
Yeah, they're not helping them.
If I was there, I'd tear them up.
You know
I
what?
beat the shit out of one of them.
Yeah, right.
Now that you brought that phone thing up, I think back to that guy that the cop pulled over because he had back child support. He had a warrant, something out, and the guy runs. So the cop chases him and he shoots him in the back, like, I don't know, 4 or 5 times. There's a guy filming this shit. He's behind a tree and he doesn't say a word after the first shot. He's more interested in capturing that fucking moment than that guy's life, And all the guy got pulled over for was because he owed back child support and he ran. Now his
Tony.
family are millionaires. But
Right. We got a video now. Man, remember the kid that got shot with the shotgun? He was just jogging in the neighborhood, and the neighbor is filming it while the two white guys jump out, chase the brother down, wrestle with him, and then they shoot him in the gut. And then the neighbor's filming it. They all going to jail.
hell yeah. He reminded me of that
It's
Good
stupid.
Samaritan law from Seinfeld, only different.
It's stupid. Talking about we're gonna make a citizen's arrest for what? Jogging?
That kid shooting goes, oh wow. So then he filmed it, and the cop went and picked up that gun or that taser, and he moved it closer to the guy's body. And that guy, as wrong as he may have been, as big of an asshole that he may have been all his life or part of it, that guy did not help him when he knew that this cop, based on how many times he shot him from behind, all 4 or 5 bullets from behind. So he never uttered a freaking word. He was more interested in capturing that moment to blame that here's a rotten cop. Now that guy that died, who knows? You don't know whether he's an asshole or not. Well, now children don't have a father. Mom and dad don't have a son, or an uncle. So, it wasn't in a secluded area. It was during daytime. So even if he shouts out, he's going to spook that cop, And he's going to get him. He's going to get him thinking. Then that cop can lie all day long about why he shot him in the back. When that
And
guy
get
never
back
turned around. He never turned around.
You don't.
know.
Even the cowboys know you don't shoot a man in the back.
No. So, so his family's going, oh, but he's a good guy, this and that. Well, yeah, that may very well
Apparently
be,
not.
at that particular moment in time, he shot this guy in the back, so he salted the earth.
You know,
No,
the
he
deal-
ain't the salt of the earth because he got a little streak now. But I feel sorry for the person who did that, because when you look at your grandkids and you look at a newborn baby, a new life in the world, and you done shot a man in the back and took his, that's gonna haunt you for the rest of your freaking life.
Unjustified. It's always unjustified from behind, but maybe.
I think the older I get, the more I'm grateful that I was raised right. You know.
Yep.
I haven't had a lot of things in my life, but I'm glad I had at least what I had.
Me too. We didn't have a whole lot of nothing, but they did try to keep us straight. You know, even the neighbors, the neighbors try to keep us straight because they know the road for a young black kid, and it ain't gonna be easy. So you got to watch your P's and Q's, keep your nose clean.
Yeah, because everybody knew you, right, Ronald? I mean, everybody.
Hey, we had a neighbor by my grandma's house and said, keep off the lawn. If you ran on the lawn, today kids would go, oh, fuck you. Back then, that guy would call would deal with whoever was there at the moment. So you get a little mini whooping there. And then when your dad came home from work, you got another one.
And then you got
the
one,
yeah.
Sometimes if that neighbor was a family friend, he had the right of way to crack you in the ass with his hand.
But these goddamn liberals, and they bullshit.
You gotta have some type of sense of responsibility. You know what today's world is showing people is they can do whatever they want and nobody gives a shit. Like literally.
They started this division years ago. This was the master plan to divide the masses.
Oh, you know what?
Not just with the slavery, but all the other shit too. When you got a 3-year-old kid running up on me, telling me, "Hey, nigger, this kid ain't 5 feet, ain't even 5 years old."
Now that you say that, we had a neighbor kid when I was in the South Side of Milwaukee. This kid was 2 years old. And this kid said, "Hey, motherfucker."
Oh.
And we're like, where the hell did you learn that from? You know?
From his granddaddy or his daddy or his mama?
He was, I think they lived a couple doors down, but I only recall that moment when the kid came over, and the kid looked innocent enough, but the stuff that came out of his mouth.
You can't blame that on the kid, though.
Ronald, it's probably happened a lot, maybe in America, but not over here and stuff. But the only time I feel, or hear people using the N-word these days is within, to themselves, if you know what I mean, from one to another in the same ethnic group. I very seldom hear anybody else using the N-word at all. But when I hear people talking on shows, on TV, everything is like, if you are from the same hood, then you feel me, and they're using it against
Right. Yeah, I feel you on that one. I grew up with that too. I used to call my sisters the same thing because institutionalized, we mentally for 400 years has been enslaved to the same mentality that the hater toward hate. So we only know what they teach us.
Yeah. You know what? I wasn't born.
Because seriously, I cannot remember.
I wasn't born not liking anyone. I knew when I was a little guy that the other guy might have looked different, but I didn't know why. I didn't care. But when I
never care.
all the adults around me saying certain things, and then I go and say it, and I'm 5, 6 years old, and I get whooped for it without anybody sitting me down telling me how wrong it was. I didn't get that out of my own self. I heard it somewhere. So
you can imagine how young people today, which doesn't understand the history and so much, when they hear that N-word used all the time between African Americans, so
There-
to speak, and then you know you are a
There-
Caucasian little kid, and you don't really pay any attention to it
There-
because they're just used to hearing it so much, and they think, oh, if
No,
I
Gary-
say it, it's completely wrong, but
Gary-
they say it to each other all the time.
Gare, there's a different word there, but it's not pronounced correctly. When they say it, like they say it, they're supposed to say gar, not gur. That's a slang term, gur. They don't, and gar. They don't say it the right way. But that doesn't mean that it's okay for you to say it anyway. And I made my point very clear on here a couple of times. But
And they don't even know what the word means, Tony. Shakespeare used the word. The word means ignorant.
yeah, so I mean,
Look it
there was
up. When Shakespeare said, "You're acting niggerly."
yeah, I don't know where it came from.
Niggerly,
And
yeah, that's
Hey.
an English word, yeah.
But
Right.
listen. Let me take a moment here, everybody. I'm going to get off the live, and everybody can stay there that are here. Michael, if you want to come up before in 5 minutes. Otherwise, I'm going to kick this down to private. All right, go ahead. Go ahead, Gear.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's why I'm just saying that, you know, because it's used in that terms so much, then, you know, I can understand some young Caucasian or whatever kids think it's absolutely all right to say it because they hear it from within because they don't know any better.
I heard that said on my bus once by some white kids that were talking to each other, and they said that, and they got a real good look at, you know, when they said it. But
Right, and then when the ones that use it, they try to use it against you to get the upper hand to try to, you know, egg you on, because I mean they think the word got power, so they use it.
here's Michael. Yeah, you know, it's I think today a lot of the kids like that they think it's cool to be talking like that, and they really don't know, you know. They don't know. I had a white kid that had a North Carolina Tar Heels Letterman jacket on with all these gold chains. We used to have paper transfers, and I cut him. I tore him off when I handed it to him, and he snatches it out of my hand like a badass. I started laughing, and the kid's girlfriend said, "Oh, he's laughing at you." He goes, "Yeah, I know," because he was ridiculous.
But I can understand in one way because let's say me, I'm Norwegian. English is my kind of second language, yeah. So I'm not born in England. It's not my first language. I don't really have deep feelings associated with certain words that I know. And for example, you know, if you are British, if you are English, and maybe if you are American, and English or American is your native born language, and you use the C word, that is like, oh shit, you know, you shouldn't use the C word. But for me, the C word, it doesn't mean anything different than fuck or slut, or I mean, but you know, for English people, the C word is like something almost you should never use. But for me, I don't have the same feeling, understanding. For me, it's just a word. If you understand what I'm trying to say.
Garrett, it's the only word that no woman on earth will tolerate you saying it. If you wanna get slapped, you wanna get shot or stabbed, you say that to them.
Yeah, but you understand where I'm coming from. I'm coming from being non-English native speaking, and for me, using the C word or the slut or whatever, it doesn't have any different.
It's just another bloody word. It's just another bloody word.
For me, it's just another naughty word. You know what I mean?
We're gonna go into private now, guys. So just hold tight there for a couple of seconds. I'd like to thank everybody that showed up tonight. We'll see you again next week.